Yeah, man, we live. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. No episode today. This is just
Mm-hmm.
today's just the thank you episode. Today's just the thank you episode for everybody. But we haven't been on in a while, to be honest. Last week got canceled. Today got canceled, but it was only right that I got to fix my hat. It was only right that we come on, just to kind of thank all the viewers, who supported us, thank all the guests and stuff by each name. We will be doing that later on and stuff. But it's only right that we come on and just show love to everybody. Appreciate, tell them how much we appreciate them and stuff, man. But Pang, man, how everything is, man.
Everything good, man. I feel like I've been on a mini vacation from the show. It's been a while since I've been on this.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah, man. Just a lot of running around with my kids, really. Like it just seemed like every time we got a show, the day of the show, like something just came up, you know. Um, One of my son teammates had catch COVID-19, so anybody that been in contact with he within the last 3 days had to quarantine. So
Hey, Pang,
yo,
your volume is real low. It went back to how it was.
you can't hear me good? Okay,
Well, I could barely hear you, but Alrika say you mute, so I ain't sure if the viewers could hear you or not.
all right, I can plug back in my headphones. See, I will try not to use my headphones because they broke, but I don't got sacrifice. Hold on.
Yeah, man. Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Alrika. Good afternoon, all the viewers. By the way, good afternoon. Hope everybody doing good. Yeah, yeah. Dwayne say your volume low. Yeah, I just got text too.
You can hear me better now?
Same, Louis low. All right, no, that's good.
So hope this work better now.
Yeah, yeah. You sound perfect.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, go ahead and see what you're saying. I know you were touching up on the thing with your son teammate COVID-19 and so.
Yeah. So he had to quarantine. He's still quarantining, but the good thing about it, we're going into the holidays, so he ain't got to go back to school until next year. So he finished off the semester doing homeschool. So I just had to get he tested and make sure he come back with a negative. And well, the one of the reason why I didn't come on that Wednesday was I was kind of like I wanted to go and prepare, like do whatever I got to do in the house for heat. So where he got to do just stay in his room until he take his test and get he positive. I'm sorry, negative status. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
but other than that, just a bunch of running around and getting ready for Christmas and that's it. Working. I've been doing a lot of overtime at my other job. Driving a lot more, driving lift. So that's about it, man. Just trying to make things happen.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. That's good. So everybody at your son team, so everybody good now?
Yeah,
Everybody.
well, I think it was two kids catch it. Two of the best kids actually catch it. I don't know where they was. But yeah, man, that man come back positive. Both of them, I don't even think they live the same area, so it's not like they caught it from someplace else. Probably caught it from the same place, same person, same thing. I don't really know because I think them man don't hang out outside of school. But my son don't hang with them like that outside of school. But that's who he don't hang with in school. He hasn't been going anywhere lately. Like I don't let he go much places. He don't ask me. Like one time he wanted to go skating with them, bowling, but nah.
You gotta be careful these days, man.
Right.
I
Nah.
know, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Everybody tuning in. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, today episode is the thank you episode. We just gonna thank all myself and Pang. We came up with this idea, as well as Tegan, and we just gonna thank all the viewers. Thank everybody who supported us. Thank all the guests that we have celebrated at Anna. So, I just wanted to try that out there for all the viewers that just tuning in. So
you got a wicked shot there, man.
yeah. This is since you talk about it, we just go right into the shout outs, pan. We'll go right into the shout outs. But this is one of the shots there from Dwayne them. You know what I'm saying? So 340. Ice gold and green. You know what I'm saying? So big up to Dwayne. I cop like 4 shots. You know what I'm saying? So big up to Calypso Clothing, man. Big up to Calypso Clothing as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys like the shot, go to Dwayne page, man. Support the locals, support all the locals and stuff like that. So I'll get right into the shoutouts. Kapang just plugged that the perfect way. So we got legends340.com. Make sure you guys check them out as well. We always rock their clothing as well too on the show. We got Savory Eats LLC based out of Orlando by Sheena Fontaine. She always doing the cooking stuff. So if you guys ever in Orlando area, Kissimmee, etc., on the outskirts, just hit her up anytime she got food sale. We got the Good Life Apparel. Big up to Nato. I talked to Nato the other day, and we had that picture with the East teams and stuff like that. I'll get into that because I don't want to spill all on this over the Good Life. So big up to the Good Life Apparel. Big up to Nato. We got follow on Instagram at Melty Pot Cooking Class, also meltypotcookingclass.com, and that's Andrea. So big up to Andrea doing her thing. Cebu Caribbean Restaurant. Big up to our Mitra McIntosh. Big up to our husband. We got Apollo Legion. Usually you guys see Tiga rocking their clothing. Also follow on Instagram at Island Destiny 340, Serenity Braids by Nikki. We also got Rico Canario. His website is www.lulu.com/spotlight/R Canario. So you guys check out his website. He has a lot of history on Virgin Islands history and sports as well. And he has several books. Big up to Right Way Service Station located in Princess next to Avis. That's the only locally owned gas station on St. Croix. So make sure you guys always support them and stuff like that. You always hear all kind of stories with all the other owners and stuff like that as well. We had one of our co-hosts had an incident with one of the owners as well too. So make sure you guys support your own. We got Paris Enterprise. Big up to Paris Enterprise. We also got follow on Facebook Live Via Sports. They're live every Tuesday 7 p.m. Also follow on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok at The Real Midnight. Also follow on Facebook at Real Midnight ENT. Big up to Frenchie, Duval County, Jacksonville. Big up yourself. Midnight Entertainment. Also big up to Chico Harris with Next Level Up Printing. We also got OliviaDesir.com. Check out the website. We got Bubbles Promotion. Also follow on Facebook at Brino's Kitchen. Also big up to Mona Barnes. Follow on Facebook at City of Refuge Worship Center. They always live stream every Sunday, 10 a.m. Also big up to Carlos Hawkins. We got AM Credit Repair LLC as well too. We also got, I mentioned it earlier, we got Calypso Clothing LLC. This is the shirt I'm wearing. Check out his page. Dwayne page. Also, we got Hungry Hearts Hustle, and their website is www.hungryheartsapparel.com. And I've been so busy. I have to give out a shout out to this one too. Let me just pull up. Pardon me, I apologize. Let me just pull it up real quick. Also, we got and I gotta put this in. We got On the Edge Performance LLC. So big up to On the Edge Performance LLC. Out of St. Croix, Race Car, do the Race Car stuff, and I'll post all that stuff up. But I just wanted to big them up as well too. Big up to David Dubois. They located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They include a lot of services and stuff like that. Some will put up the contact, or will put up the email. I'll put up the social media as well too. So big up to On the Edge Performance. Out of the Virgin Islands, St. Croix. So big up to them as well too, doing all the car racing and stuff like that. So I saw some pictures. They was in Orlando doing the car racing. So I definitely gonna look out for them. So anytime they're in Orlando, go check it out. So big up to David Dubois and the whole team. Punk. So and last but not least, man, go to the YouTube page, subscribe, follow. If you guys need to catch up on some of the episodes, you guys can always go check it out as well too.
And as far as our co-host Tegan doing his home improvement, putting in he got home improvement going on. So putting in a window in his house, or is it his house or somebody else's house, Mumba?
I think it was his house. I think it's his house.
Okay.
You know,
Yes.
yeah.
So Tegan doing his home improvements. So he may or may not be on. We're in limbo on that. So
Yeah.
So what we got going on today, Mumba?
So you know, first of all, real quick, Pang, you know, good afternoon to all the viewers that are tuning in and stuff like that. You know, I behind on all the comments and good afternoon and hello and stuff. So, you know, big up to all the viewers as well. Since you know, Warren Duca Brown, he's under the weather. He was kind of, he had a cold, and he called me yesterday, and honestly, he didn't sound too good, you know. So I just put it in the announcement and stuff like that. So he had to cancel. You know, he apologized. He was sorry and everything, man. But you know, health is number one.
Right.
You know, especially how this year went and stuff like that. We have lost a lot of legends and stuff like that. I'm not saying he's on that level, but you just never know. You can't take any chances. You know, some of the smallest illnesses and colds turn out to be some major stuff. So, you know, he apologized. So, you know, we didn't want to cancel again. So we just decided, since we kind of towards the ending of December, might as well, you know, do a thank you episode to all the viewers, you know, everyone who supported us, all the guests that have appeared on our show that we celebrated at Anna. So we just wanted to definitely have a show today, you know, and just acknowledge everybody and just show some love and appreciation for everything, you know. So, you know, so that's pretty much it for today. You know, anything we could have touched on. I know the NBA season is coming up soon. You know, so and I know we all are basketball heads and stuff like that. So, and if the viewers them have any questions and stuff or anything like that, we will definitely tackle some of the questions and stuff. But that's about it, pretty much, man. You know, pretty much, Pang. You know, so
Good. Looking forward for it, man. Just having some fun and just kill some time, you know.
yeah, man, definitely. You know, so. So you want to get right into it, Pang, or is there anything you want to touch on before we get into it?
Nah. Anything we touch on, we could touch on it at the end, like, you know, talk basketball, talk NBA, talk about how your son doing in basketball. Just keep them videos coming.
Yeah. I got more videos. I got to post them, but yeah, we definitely we could touch on that too. You know, so. You know, we'll get right into it. Once again, all the viewers, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate your support and everything. You know, so episode 1, the first episode, we have the man right here, you know, the living legend, somebody that I model my game after, somebody that gave me a shot, somebody that have inspired me in basketball to the highest degree, you know, coming from a local, you know. So we had Steven Pang Hodge. He was the first episode, you know, so I'll let you go, man. You was the first, so you know, reflect, you know, talk about it, man. Let's hear it.
It was an honor being the first of all. You know, thank you and Tegan for putting that together. That really was our idea to start it off. It was me being the first was really like the test run, you know what I mean? And it felt good, man. It turned out good. I honestly will have to say I felt real good. Just being recognized as you know, an elite player coming from St. Croix or the Virgin Islands in a whole, and you know, just never. I always knew people like my game because, you know, I used to hear it in the streets. You know, people always come up to me and tell me they love seeing me play. But this was the perfect thing to do, especially since the quarantine start. And it was just an honor, man. Just an honor to be recognized like that.
Yeah, man. It was you know, like you say, it was the first episode, man. So it was the first one, man, and I think it went well, man. It went well. Your story was amazing. Your story, everything you've been through and stuff like that. It was amazing. Just how you got into college. You know what I'm saying? And it just is just a big up to all the people them that really push you, man, and really look out for you and didn't give up on you, man. You know, I know you here today, man. you've been so important to me, you know, growing up and stuff like that. You know, me playing basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in my episode, you is the one that inspired me to really take that direction in basketball and stuff like that. You know, and as we get older, it kind of, you know, we kind of take things for granted. But you know, I really reflected on my whole life growing up and stuff like that, and where I am today. And it was like that's why I say you played a major part of me being who I am today and what I have today and stuff like that. I don't, you know, I don't worship material stuff and everything, but all the accomplishments and where I've been, you played a major part, because if I didn't really see you, I might have still played basketball, but not at that specific time. So you the reason why I got basketball scholarships is because I saw you play. Like all that stuff is because of you, you know, and stuff like. So like sometimes we take stuff for granted because we might accomplish a lot of stuff, but we don't really sit back and really reflect on all the little people them that played a part in making who we are today and stuff like that. If they didn't come into our life at a certain point of time and all that stuff. So, you know, I appreciate you with everything, man. And you being the first one, you know, was only right because you kind of a big brother to myself and Tegan as well too. So
well, that's good to hear. That was touching, man. I almost tear up a little bit, honestly.
yeah, man.
You know, when you don't realize at the time, you don't realize the type of effect that you don't have on people, or you don't take a time to soak it in, you know, and appreciate it. And whether I fail, whether I succeed, if I touch someone in the right way at the time, you know, through my journey, you know, that's really all that matters in the end. You know what I mean? If I could inspire somebody to want to play the sport and carry on the tradition in the Virgin Islands, that's all the what for me.
Well said, man. That's true, bro. That's true for real, man. You know, that's true. You know, so I'm not the only one, man. You know, you are a lot of people Zorro, man. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, like myself, Tegan, and all the others that play ball, man. So you played a major part in so many people's lives, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just want to give you flowers now. A lot of people receive the flowers when they're in the grave, you know,
right.
So important that, you know, so definitely, man. Next episode, episode 2, we had Glenn Shotgun Coggins, man. You know.
Yeah, Glenn episode was real too, because I had known about the St. Joseph recruitment for Shotgun. I didn't know that they were trying to. There was a school out in California that were trying to recruit Shotgun, and so that type of thing that I learned on the interview, on the podcast, and this is what I love about the podcast. You might know somebody. Me and Shotgun know each other from time we hit ATA, and me and Shotgun been in class together, everything. So I know Shotgun personally, good, like we know each other, good. We play against each other, we play with each other, like everything. So I Shotgun even was my unofficial roommate in college for a semester. He and Itchy, yeah. Flight called me one time, tell me I need to go pick up Shotgun and Itchy from the bus station. And them man are moving Jacksonville. And how we work out is Itchy's sister live across town. So to be going back and forth for them man like every day so they can hang out, that won't gonna work. I gonna bring some clothes here and just stay here.
Yeah, that's true.
And me and my roommate, we had the space for it. Them man, it won't know, you know, like it won't know like what the word be. No, I don't know what it would be, but
no, you don't, brother.
We had the room to accommodate them, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that man was my unofficial roommate for a whole entire semester. Ain't nobody, no issues with anybody coming and trying to kick them out or nothing. We just had it set. You know what I'm saying? So that's how good me and Shotgun is, and there are still things I didn't know about it until we got on a podcast and. It was just amazing just listening to his story, you know. Shotgun is another one that Shotgun playing ball. It looked like Shotgun didn't miss a step if you watch Shotgun play ball today. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
It looked like he didn't even miss a step. So he is one that definitely used to drive me because just as good as I used to say I don't play defense, Shotgun to play just as good defense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if I play D and he hard, he coming right back and giving me the same type of treatment. You know what I'm saying? So we used to push each other on the court for the most. So I love Shotgun interview. I think Shotgun didn't finish the interview or he had a little technical difficulty or something.
Yeah, I think he might. I think he had a little technical
Yeah.
difficulties. Yeah, yeah, man.
But outside of that, yeah, Shotgun interview a real man.
Yeah, his interview was real, man. You know what I'm saying? And same thing, you know, I learned a lot. You know, same thing, man. It was you know, I played a lot of basketball with him, you know, playing with Mandem and stuff. So he's been a big brother to me as well, too, man. You know, pretty much he touched on everything. I learned a lot new, man. He's you know, he's done a great job raising all his daughters, them, you know, amazing job. He's like the ultimate role model, man. You know,
I tell him so on Facebook the other day. He posts a picture with his daughter them, and I just let Shotgun know, man. Hey, look, you is an inspiration of what a father should be, my son. Seriously, real talk.
Real talk, man.
My boy to work hard. He always been a hard worker though. You know, he to work hard. He asking for no handouts. He you know, running down behind and nobody for nothing.
Yeah.
My boy taking care of all 5 of his kids and he own.
It's true, man. That's, you know, that's commendable, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially in these times.
Right. Now I'm need to see it in reverse. The father to be this, the father is the one that disappeared in his life. He's the one that's there from day one and doing everything from day one. You know what I'm saying? And the roles is different. So he's definitely an inspiration to me all up to this day.
Yeah, he's gonna always be an inspiration, man. Always. So we got on episode 3, we had Tyrone Alec.
So Tyrone was definitely like my first, like when I say hero when it comes to playing ball. Like just seeing Tyrone play was just like, man, like I really gotta get good in this game, son. Just to be on that level, like, cause Tyrone was, you know how they used to call Dominique the human highlight?
Yeah.
Tyrone was must-see TV when he was in high school. It was just like must-see TV. Like anytime you hear Tyrone them play, whether they playing the Good Hopes, whether they playing the St. Dunstan's, the Country Day, you know, some of the weaker teams, them, he was must-see TV. You don't blink when Tyrone got a ball, because you're gonna miss something good. Like that's an understatement. You're gonna miss something good. And he had no fear. He didn't see a defender. Like at no time he touched the ball, he saw a defender. You know what I'm saying? So it was just must-see TV. And Tyrone episode was good, learning about his college days. And he was like the first one to go out there, like in my time. You know, I was a little bit young to know Zorro's story. I was a little bit young to know like the Bullas and, you know, when they were in high school and some of the opportunities that they may or may not have, or whatever the case may be. Tyrone was the first that I knew his story. I knew I spent a half a semester in Central when Tyrone was there. So I get to see he like the play that year there and while I was in Central. And it was just to see he graduate and get his recruitment, and like I saw all of that into fruition. You know what I mean? So he was my first to see and just I take notes on what to do, even though I didn't take notes because I was still out there effing up, you know what I'm saying, doing bull crap. But still, he was the first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To see the blueprint. That's the word I was looking for, to see the blueprint. And Tyrone kind of take me under his wing a little bit too, because I play 1 or 2 leagues with Tyrone, and Tyrone used to just give me the strings. He just used to loose the strings on me. And I said, my son, Pang, just not because you're down a team with me, you know. Do your thing, my son.
Yeah.
And he kind of let me loose. I play on a team called Pay-Per-View with he. And of course, I play with on Top Guns with he, where I was at the time, me and Spud were the youngest players on the team. and Jomo. Coffee came a little later, and Tyrone used to just give me the strings, tell me and B Sport and Jomo I just play, never like try to son we or anything. You know what I mean? Never try to little boy we, nothing like that there. And we all know he's the star. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
And kind of that's where I got that from Mumba when I tell you to come and play in the Lunch League with me, and I just let you Doobie and Tyrone do our thing because I really want her to shine just as much as I shine in. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
Tyrone is the first person to do that for me. Well, I wouldn't say the first, but he is definitely he was the highest level the first highest level player to do that for me. Okay. You know what I mean? So like everybody else that I played with, I was either better than them or we were like a little on the same level. But Tyrone was way better than me at that time. And he just let me loose. So Tyrone's story was interesting.
Yeah, for me, his own was interesting, man. You know, I know a lot about his story because I read up on Tyrone a lot. You know, I met Tyrone when I was a senior in high school when we went on the trip, you know, to Barbados. Yeah, you know, we ended up being roommates and all that stuff. So, you know, and he's been like a big brother to me in a way too, as well. You know, he done a lot for me. You know, it was amazing to see him perform so well, even up in that age. You know, because he was pretty much on the back end, you know, when I saw him play. But, you know, like everything you said, man, I wish I was able to see him play when I was young, man, because you hear all the stories in Shabbat and stuff like that, man. And, you know, him tearing his ACL and fighting his way back so quick was amazing. You know, his injuries and some of the stuff he had to deal with in college and stuff because he had to play a role, you know, because of the coach, etc. and stuff, you know. But, you know, amazing interview, man. Learned a lot from him. You know, he was a hard worker. You could have tell from his interview as well too. Like he didn't play no games. So amazing.
One thing I like about Tyrone is Tyrone would always let it be known that he's the best person in this room. When it comes to basketball, to him, nobody in this room could see him, and he ain't seeing nobody in this room. He always had the heart. Like definitely always had the heart, and that heart used to drive him to be the best person on the court at all time. And honestly, it might get a better person on the court than he. It might.
Yeah.
But when you watch Tyrone play, you would never know that.
You never know that, right?
You would never know that. He gonna make sure he's the best player on the court at all times. So yeah, his episode was definitely good. And just hearing about his bouts with Zorro, and they still got like a undecisive who was the better team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we definitely gotta get a show like that there where we bringing on some rival players and from each team, and I looking forward to some shows like that there. So we could
definitely
get some of them question answered, even though we might never get a question answered because nobody ain't gonna give into this story, you know, to the other person's story. Yeah. So, but we still it would be good for TV.
No, it's true. That's gonna be fun. We definitely starting in New Year's, we're gonna be doing that. Next episode 4, we had Terry Byron.
So Terry was the first baseball player that we talk about, and that was my introduction to start learning about baseball. And you know, I did not watch much baseball growing up. The most baseball I used to watch was on Nintendo. That's the most baseball. Not any cousin, any brother. Them I was big baseball fan. So I just used to watch the Atlanta Braves because whenever I go by not them man is big Brave fans. So they watching Braves. Yeah. So that's why I could say like Greg Maddux is my favorite baseball player, even though I don't know much baseball player. Out of the 10 baseball players, I know Greg Maddux was the best to me. You know? So Greg Maddux, Chipper Jones. Didn't they have like a Andrew somebody?
Andrew Jones, yeah.
Andrew Jones, yeah.
You dropping some names, man. You dropping
right?
some names too. Yeah.
So Chipper Jones was the man like best hitter, right? Or something like that at the time back then. Yeah. So I just don't, because of them, man, Braves is my baseball team. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But back to Terry. I know Terry from Grove. So just hearing his story, It was interesting. I know him to go St. Joseph, like just seeing him or whatever the case may be, and just listening to how he get recruited. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff is like good, man. Like stuff that we never know. Never know. Like we never know the ends of this story. You know, the most I know about it is Terry got recruited for a minor. He got drafted to a major league team.
Yeah.
That's how we used to hear in the newspaper. But you never know what went into that. You know what I'm saying? The things that he did to make he even became on somebody's radar. The things that he did in college, and like mostly everybody's story, because we don't have like a lot of famous people that made it to the NBA, made it to like big time major leagues, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. What a really stand out to me is not that where I gonna say where everything went wrong for them, but we could just hearing what happened to why it didn't go further. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think Terry's story, he had a whole year that he didn't even play in college, right? Didn't like
Not. I think it was Bailey.
okay.
Yeah, Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey.
Okay. Well, but didn't Terry had a year where he get injured or something stop him from playing, or he had to transfer school or something?
Man, I don't even know. I can't remember. I'm trying to think.
But anyways, but just learning the ins and out of the journey. You know what I mean? So just hearing his journey, hearing the school that he went to, the adversity that he went through. It's just interesting, man, and it's just a feel good. Everybody's story is like a feel good story. You know what I mean? Because you never know. You always, I never look at people as failure. That's number one. But just hearing and just getting clarification of why this didn't work out for that person is just that's what it really does stay with me when we do these interviews. And Terry was just he was another one that talented player that coming out of the Virgin Islands that we got everything going against us that we don't make it, and he bust through those walls to make it.
Yeah, Terry, his episode was great, man. I know Terry. I played against Terry since in Little League since I was 9 years old. He was the man then. Power pitcher. Representing SPS Shamrocks. So it was amazing just to hear that he got drafted, how everything went down, and how he went to the JUCO and he got drafted in the second round. I think it was in the 1999 draft, which is like being a lottery pick in the NBA draft. Like people don't realize how amazing that was. Second round, he was a pitcher, so he was one of the best pitchers in the whole in the whole United States and in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, because you can't draft in the international countries. So one thing that stood out to me was the fact that Terry said that he didn't really work hard, and it's amazing that he didn't work hard with how powerful his arm was, because we hear stories, and Bailey touched on it too, that in the 19 he's throwing 98 miles an hour and all that stuff, man, and that's like not too many people in the world could do that, But just to see him, go through St. Joseph and JUCO, and then getting drafted by the Florida Marlins was just amazing, man. And his story was great. His brother has a lot of history in baseball, and his father has a lot of history in baseball too. So big up to Terry Byron, man, out of Grove. Big up.
Right. One thing that I just want us to, like, when you're teaching kids about basketball, like as being an adult, as go through the ranks of playing for so many different coaches, and you're able to take little things from your experiences with different coach to teach our players. And one of the things, if I ever became, I probably would never be a head coach. I know that for a fact. But if I could be on somebody coaching staff, I always want to be the one, like the motivator on the team, like to get kids to never not want to work hard. Like You ain't gotta scream at a child, and you ain't gotta like bark at them and talk loud or whatever. But if you show them why to work hard, like the benefits, like hearing people like Terry's story is what I want to make stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not that he didn't have the talent to make it, but he himself could admit that he didn't work hard enough to make it further.
Yeah.
And if you give it your all, you know what I mean? You could never be unsatisfied of the results. Never, if you give it your all.
Yeah. That's 100% true. Real quick, reason why Terry didn't go further along in baseball because he got hurt, his shoulder. So just anybody who's tuning in now that didn't see his episode, know the reason why he didn't prolong his baseball career, because he got hurt, but that's 100% true, Pang. Well said. Kids these days definitely need that. Definitely. Episode 5, we had the Greek god, Cuthbert Victor. One of the that's the dopest nickname, the Greek god. So,
well, Coffee is like my brother from another mother. Me and Coffee could go without talking for years, because me and Coffee truly, we don't talk as much as we used to. But when I been home the other day, it's like I been home the day before, and we were talking last week, and we were talking the week before. So
yeah,
we just pick up where we left off. You know what I'm saying? So watching Coffee just coming up in Complex, I used to learn with Coffee brother them, Skinny Man, Winsbot, Buju. Like I used to hang with them no box man. So I used to go up there. I not often. A few times I've been up there on their man court watching playing ball with them man up on the hill. And Coffee out there. He's the youngest. He and Chicken out there on the court. But they're the only like young bulls out there. You know what I mean? Everybody else is like my age or older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Coffee was just keeping up with everybody. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like we were taking advantage of him or anything. You know what I mean? So you could always see Coffee talent. And Coffee is probably the only person I didn't learn a lot from his interview, because I knew mostly everything. Me and Coffee used to talk all when he was like overseas. You know what I'm saying? So, but his story was still good. You know what I mean? Like, just hearing how he came up, where he developed some of the stuff he developed, like some of the skills. And I definitely glad that he did the interview, because Coffee is a Tim Duncan type player. You will be watching a game and your eyes is locked on Teagan, your eyes is locked on Pang, your eyes is locked on Calvert, your eyes is locked on Shakes, because they're doing all the exciting things. But at the end of the game, Coffee got 28 points, 13 rebound, 4 block shot. And you want to know when this man do all of that. You know what I mean? He's not a flashy player. And that's just the specialness about him, brother. You ain't got to run no play for Coffee. You ain't got to make it the main focal of the offense. And Coffee, just as much as he gain the ball or whatever the case may be, he's still going down on the other end and locking down his player. You know what I mean? So I'm glad he did the interview, because Coffee is one of them type of players that he's very underappreciated in the Virgin Islands. Very underappreciated. And that's why Teagan, if you say something about Teagan will switch up the conversation quick to bring it on Coffee, because Teagan he know that he don't ever want people like he want Coffee name to ring through the Virgin Islands, because he's very much underappreciated. Yeah. And I just glad that he did the interview, honestly, because Teagan had to, I wouldn't say he had to beg him, but push him. I would say push him to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? because he's not the type for the spotlight. He's so much like a Tim Duncan player, you know. He just wanted to be behind the scenes, and he just wanted to be a part of the conversation. He won't want to be the focal part of the conversation, but as long as he's a part of the conversation.
Well said, man. That's well said. Well said. You know, Coffee Man, you know, I enjoyed his episode, you know, same, you know him better than me, but you know, I know him a lot. It was, you know, I just wanted to, get into his mind to see how, what was his approach and what was, how he was dealing with everything as a young kicker. He was like a prodigy, like a young phenom. You know, he was that good, and everybody knew it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes there could be a lot of pressure on a kid growing up and stuff. So I just wanted to, hear it from his perspective, and, played against him my whole high school career, man. And he's somebody that really, really pushed me to the limit, Also, what was interesting about, how he got to Murray State, his time at Murray State, and everything, and then going into playing professional basketball, his Coffee story is, let me so I could say, because I don't, this is me from my perspective, this is just me looking in this is me as a grown adult looking back in time. And I feel like he should have been taken care a lot more better than how he was taken care of. I feel like he should have been put in a better situation going into a college than where he went to as far as Murray State. He should have never been at Murray State. He was way better. His talent was beyond Murray State, and I felt like it kind of did him a disservice. That's just me from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? He had a great career and everything like that, but we got to look at the bigger picture and stuff. If a kid is way more talented and deserve better, it's just the truth. And that's just from my perspective and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He's just once in a lifetime talent. Like you just said, he's like a Tim Duncan. Same thing with Tim Duncan. He was able to go to, an ACC school, Wake Forest and stuff like that and everything. And that's what I mean. Like, he's that type of talent, So, but to take nothing away from a Coffee Man, I appreciate everything he did. I appreciate him coming on the show. He's the amazing talent, man. He's one in a lifetime talent. I know he does a lot with Tegan. Like you said, Tegan always try to put the focus on Coffee, because he's underappreciated. I agree with you 100%. He's underappreciated. And, I know he worked with the kids, with Tegan and stuff like that. And the kids then should be really, really honored and proud to be able to be in the presence of Coffee, man, because he accomplished a lot, man. He did a lot overseas and stuff like that. He's the Greek god. You know what I'm saying? So definitely big up to Coffee, man, and big up to him and everything he have accomplished, man, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So salute his brothers, them, and his whole family and everybody, man. So much love to Coffee.
One point I can make to you about going to college and making a decision to go to college. If you look at these kids up here, the good kids, the one that are really stand out, when they're making a decision to go to college or whatever, the high school coach is involved, maybe the counselor, maybe a teacher that they connect to, the parents. Yeah. Like, it's more than one person to be involved to help these kids make a decision. You know what I mean? They don't tell them the decision, but they're there to help, they're there to support, they're there to advise. You know what I'm saying? My opinion, I think a lot of that is missing in the Virgin Islands. You know what I mean? I think coaches, teachers, principal, counselors, parents, I think they'll do things behind the scene, but it gotta be like it don't have to be, but it gotta be known more, or what people will do for these kids out there. You know what I mean? Because even some of those people need their flowers and stuff. And it's good to that we know, because I think that the concept of the Virgin Islands is that once you finish playing ball in high school, it really just, to me, from the outside looking at it, don't look like anybody to be looking out for these kids to get them further and they ending up in, like you say, in the boondocks. Because Murray State, I don't know if I ever been Murray State, Kentucky, but it is in the boondocks. I think we had to drive a couple miles from coffee school to get to a store. You know what I mean? Like it's like way down, nothing about cow and horse on each side of the road in a big field, just going miles out from the school. Like it just, he is in the boondock. He was in the boondock. So um it just, we just need more people for like guidance, you know what I'm saying, like a collective guidance, you know what I mean. And you don't have to be the coach of Central to help a Central player get to a school or whatever. You might know somebody somewhere, you know, to a school that you went to, you know what I mean, or somebody that's looking for somebody, you know what I mean, and be like, hey, I know a kid in the Virgin Islands, he fit the category that you're looking for, you should go and check it out, you know, like, and let it be, like, let it be known, you know what I'm saying, how you collectively come together, like even sometimes even have a press conference in the Virgin Islands, you know what I mean, like something, man, that just make these kids like, I got help, I got support, I got, you know, and they going into this decision like feeling good and just not going into this position feeling like they're there by themselves, you know what I mean, like, so just my opinion on something that could help with some of the kids then, because we have talent, man. I just don't think we have the right stepping stones or stepping tools or whatever you want to call it, just to help our kids get in the right position to just be successful.
Man, you couldn't say any better, brother. I agree with you 1,000,000%, man. Everything you said is 100% factual. You know, and just real quick before we get into the next one, just you know, everything you said, I think you know, Livewire Sports, they do a lot, you know, with the use them. So they use them have something better. So what they're doing is kind of what you kind of touched on, you know. So on you know, with the interviews with the clearinghouse, you have people talking about the clearinghouse, a lot of college execs, you know, coaches, etc. You know, so they're doing a lot of good things for the use them. Same thing what you've been touching on, man. So I agree with you.
One last thing. Going into college is hard, first year. Whenever we have like a superstar or the whole Virgin Islands collectively, we should always do something. And it don't even have to be for one player. We should create some type of basketball tournament, food sale, food drive, something to buy stuff for kids when they're going after college, like for the first year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, to just help with that first semester, getting them acclimated, you know, send them up with comforters, you know, like little different stuff, you know, toiletries or whatever, to send them off right, man. And just know, so they could know that they got a whole territory support, the whole island support, you know what I mean? That, man, I got a bunch of people like riding for me, Mr. I gotta go up here and do good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something we gotta start doing that there collectively to help kids for that first year of school. We ain't just sending them out there to just be on their own, you know what I mean?
Man, well said, Pang. Well said, man. You just, when you said that brought me back to something that I saw, and I'll get into it when it's my episode. But you were 100% correct, 100% correct, man. I'm glad you said that, brother, for real. The episode 6 we had Bese Gonzalez, Bese, big up to Bese, you know.
Bese, the John Stockton of the Virgin Islands, like Bese is the right, like Bese came around the right time. He wasn't he is just like a breath of fresh air, you know what I mean? Like he Basin, like I saw Basin post a picture the other day, and he looked like he was a little drunk. Like, if I don't see that, I don't think Basin do stuff, you know, he drink or I don't know if he does smoke, so I would never put that out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that he would be that type of person or that a drink or smoke or Base is you know when somebody is for the kids. Like I God put me on this earth to help this group of kids, help that group of kids, help that group of kids, or wherever the case may be, and deliver the right message to them so they can be successful. That they can they can learn, they can learn discipline, they can, you know, learn how to work with another person in a team sport. You know what I mean? Like help kids develop friendship, brotherhood, like, you know. And Basie he is the like one of the greats for that on the island.
Very true, man. I met Basie when I was playing against Guidance. Same thing, playing basketball, man, in all the leagues. I was all over the island, and Guidance used to kill me, you know. And that's when that's how I met Basie. I know Basie, and then Basie invited me with the Guidance team to travel to Rock City, you know. And like you said, he's always for the kids. Guidance was my rival. I was brothers, Harrigan, West Side. You know, we got Guidance, Harbor View, East. You know what I'm saying? But he looked out for me. He gave me opportunity to play with the Guidance, and I built some everlasting friendships with all those players with Guidance, man. They show me nothing but love. So it goes back to what you said about Basie, that he's always for the kids. You know, he's kind of he was ahead of his time in a way, because his players then was running plays and all kind of different stuff, and they was real structured and real organized as well too. You know, and he's been a figure, man, in the Virgin Islands, helping a lot of kids out, taking a lot of people under the wing. You know what I'm saying? He helped a lot of people that we are not in the on the podcast as well too. And I guess when we get to theirs, we kind of touch back on Basie, but he's been for the VI. You know, he coaches he has his way of coaching and everything. And the funny thing is, Pang, my son was at a tournament, I want to say last year. Basie team was playing in the tournament, and I didn't know. I didn't even say no. We was at the same tournament, and I remember seeing the team, and it said Positive Guidance, and I was like, man, Positive Guidance, and they just take me back to Guidance, and I was like, nobody else in the States or in Florida has no Positive Guidance. I said that has to be an island team, man. And I didn't really get a chance to really look into it until afterwards when I get in contact with him, and he was like, yeah. And then I went back and I look at the teams that he played, Pang, and his team played some of the top teams in Florida. And I think he lost a game by like 3, lost a big game by like 1, and it was against some of the top teams. And I was like, man, like this is amazing. Like he bring a team from St. Croix or the Virgin Islands. I don't know if he had any players for Rock or whatever, but they represented, even though they lose some close game, these is like top-notch AAU programs that he was hanging with. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so that stood out to me, man. You know, so definitely big up to Basie and everything you have done for all the kids, them and all the youths, you know, in St. Croix.
Two things I can finish off with Basie. To touch on, you said they play the top teams. That's the Virgin Islands story. If Virgin Islands have a team that go in any tournament, no matter where they're going in the world, these people are looked down on we are pushovers. So they try to give the top teams the easy games then, so to guarantee that they could win the tournament.
Facts.
But we always go into these situations upsetting folks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say always, more than less.
Yeah.
We'd always go into these situations and upsetting folks. You know what I mean? And that's just the type of obstacles the Virgin Islands that be placed in and put in front of us, and we'd always bust through the wall. You know what I mean? As collectively. And just to sum up the type of person, the type of person Basie is and how he'd look out for others. This never happened, so don't think this ever happened between me and he, or I've ever seen this, but it's just the idea of how I have him in my head. Basie is the type of person that you playing against Basie, he on a court, he dribbling the ball, he trying to kill you and you trying to stop him from killing you. And Basie is the type of person, this is how I envision him in my head, that he gonna tell you, okay, Pang, you need to put in a real life game, you know, put your foot them square up, so I don't go left, or I ain't able to go left or go right around you. That's how I envision Basie in my head, like the type of coach that he is. Regardless of he playing against you or whatever, I think he'll be the person that and now this he has definitely done, like pull me to the side and just give me a little nugget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just the type of person he is. You know what I mean? He would teach you in the moment that to how to stop you from going wherever he going. You know what I mean? That's how I envision Basie in my head.
Man, that's funny. Episode 7, we had Keith Zorro Swanson.
Well, what can we say about Zorro? And Zorro's story was amazing, man. Zorro might be the only person I've ever heard or hear any story about that. You know that this person was good. Not saying that like stuff like that should be happening, but it just tells you how good this person is. When you go from 9th grade to 11th grade, like 9th grade was your last year of school, but then somebody sees so much in you as far as playing basketball, and man, no, we can't. We tried to recruit him once, it didn't work out. Man, it just can't. His story just can't end like this. 2-3 years later, we gotta go back and get his person. And then to get him back into, make sure he get back into school, whatever they had to do to get him back in school, like put all of this together, because we gotta get this dude to play for us.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of thing that you would hear, like you would expect to happen for a Michael Jordan, for a Magic Johnson, for a LeBron James, you know? But no, this happened for one of the Virgin Islands' very own, Zorro Keith Swanson, brother. Like, that man gotta be the baddest man in the world, yo, for somebody they want to do that for this person. You know what I mean? Like, hearing that about his story, because I only knew about him getting recruited once from when he was in Arta. I didn't know that they came back and recruited him again. So that was good to know. And also, I didn't know that also that he played as much as he did. How I used to always hear Zorro's story is that he went up, because school start in September. School start in around August, September. I always thought that Zorro went up in like August, September, and he was back home like November, December, because that's when it started to get cold. Because the story is he was too. It used to snow and it used to get too cold wherever he was, and he didn't like it. And he used to call home, and it's either he used to call home, and his father would always pick up the phone and tell him no, and then the one time his mother pick up the phone, she send you a ticket, or vice versa. That's how I used to, honestly, that's how I used to hear the story.
Yeah.
So it was good putting the pieces of the puzzle together to hear it from him, how it actually went down. And listening to him, that's not how it was at all. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't hear Zorro say he would call him home every day to come home. I didn't hear that one thing come out of his mouth. But if you let other people tell your story, that's the type of stuff that you're going to hear. They said Zorro, I used to always hear Zorro would call home every day. And either his mother or his father, one of them would say no. And then the one day the other parent pick up the phone, they send you, he or she send you a ticket to come home. And that's a short time between August or September to around Christmas. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know he played as much ball as he did. I didn't know Zorro been out of Vegas on that team. I didn't know he played against some of the names that he meant. I can't remember the names, but he played against some people that went to the NBA. It wasn't just Rod Strickland. He named some other names that actually ended up in the NBA. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know the kind of the decision for the coach to try and make it to a point guard. And we know Zorro is a pure scorer. If they are utilizing the right way, who knows where Zorro would have been? It was just good hearing Zorro's story from him, because that's most of the stuff is myth to us, because we didn't get to witness Zorro in his prime. So his story them is like a lot of his story them is like folk tale to us. We weren't there, you know what I'm saying? We just hear him word by word about, So when somebody telling a story, I have to envision or pull an image in my head to really appreciate his story. But it wasn't hard putting an image in my head, listen to his story from him. Like, it wasn't hard putting an image in my head. It wasn't hard at all, because it's coming from I ain't want to call it a house, but it's just,
Horse's mouth.
horse's mouth. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't want to call you ass.
I just gained a story from the horse's mouth. It wasn't hard putting a image to the story.
Yeah. Man, for me, man, I just couldn't wait to hear his story. Like you said, man, you hear all the the stories and stuff like that, man. And I end up getting to play with Zorro, a couple years with Mandem and stuff. So I get to see him in action, and he was still one of the best players then, and that was pretty much his, he was like on his way out. But it's funny when you touched on with the coach coming down, Pang. And you know what's so crazy, Pang? If this coach come to any high school, any public schools in America, is going to be big news today in 2020. So now we went back to 19, where it was 86 or whatever it was. I think it was.
Yeah.
That time that was like the main school in the US, like the top-notch school. Now we fast forward back to 2020. You have a lot of different academies and our kind of powerhouse school, like Sierra kind of
school,
schools and stuff. So even now today, if this man come to your high school, like if he come in our high school gym to watch one of these kids play, people will be going crazy
because they know he recruiting.
Yeah. So think back now to 1986 when he come to Zorro. It's like you said, like people don't realize how crazy that is. Like how crazy it is. And
imagine, who is even talking about Zorro out in the wall? You know what I'm saying? Like how his name got out there to begin with. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that I would love to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, do we have somebody in office somewhere down here that just, I'm gonna reach out to this person, I'm gonna reach out, they have to know about Zorro. Like, these are the stories these are the people that we need to find out, like how Zorro even get on this man radar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, those are the cookies and the gems that we need to know, son. But regardless of how he know, the word got to him, and it got to him with enough sauce, or wherever the word you could use, and putting that this coach was interested and make an effort to come. And I don't know if he ever saw Zorro play, or when he came with a purpose. I come to live with you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how it was. I think when he came to live with Zorro. Like, he didn't come to watch he play. If my memory serves me correct, how Zorro told the story, he came to live with him.
Yeah.
I don't think that he needed to see Zorro play. Whoever threw the bug in his ear, it was more than enough for he to be like, okay, all right, I come in a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Yeah, so that kind of stood out to me, man. It's like it's amazing. It's just that's crazy. And just his performances, man, as a young kid playing in Puerto Rico and setting the record, and going down to Argentina, I think it was. So I just wish I had the opportunity to see him play in his heyday to really see how amazing he was, man.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
I catch Zorro probably when he started, like right at the beginning. I wouldn't even say when Zorro started to slow down, because I came around basketball. I wasn't playing, but I watched a few man league games even before I ever pick up a basketball in Arta. And I can't remember the stuff that he did in the game, but one thing I could just remember seeing him do, that's Tegan's favorite thing he liked to talk about that he get from Zorro.
Mm-hmm.
Is the kind of thing that Zorro was doing in the layup lanes. That's like, you ever watch those videos when LeBron was in the layup lane at his son basketball, when his son was getting ready to play, and LeBron and how Island kids just, and like people like running up to the court to see LeBron do whatever he's doing. That's how I felt. One of them kids. That's how I felt watching Zorro do what he was doing in the layup lane. And that's what I remember. And so I know he was still in his prime then, because the way how he was doing what he was doing, man, Mumba, so effortlessly, my son. Zorro was throwing the ball up off the glass, and like Zorro had so much height up in the air. Like he could have do things like he could have do things that Vince Carter was doing even before Vince Carter did it. You know what I'm saying? Like Zorro was just like like throwing the ball down in the rim and then like not even dunking it, like all over the rim, and like he whole hand like throwing the ball in the rim. I'm like, what is? That's the type of things Zoro did in the layup lane. So I'm glad I get to play with him. Like, and I know I play with him more in the latter part of his career. So I was still never on his level, never at no point. You know what I mean? But I glad I get to play in my Virgin Island prime with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was in college at the time, so I myself was growing and getting stronger and faster, and so I glad I get to play with him in that at that time, because we had some good performances as teammates. You know what I'm saying? Me, him, and Kofi. So I glad I get to play with him, and his story was real good.
Yeah, his story was good, man. And then final part about me with Zor was just just how long he played, man. How long he played Man League, and how he was still a powerful figure, man, and his knowledge for the game and everything. So, much love to Zor, man. I appreciate him coming on and giving us a chance to celebrate and honor him. And he's always watching and viewing, and he's always throwing out names, trying to get people on the podcast, So much love to Zoro. Episode 8, we had Calvin Pickering.
So I'm just going to be honest with everybody. Until we did that interview, I had never heard of Calvin Pickering. But I was fascinated by his story and where his talents took him, and the way how you spoke about him before the show, leading up to the show, and while we were in the show, talking. I like the fact that when he was on his tour in the major leagues, how the other players would talk about him and how much of a hard hitter he was, and they how impressed they was of him. You know what I'm saying? One of our little Virgin Islands own got major league players talking about how impressed they is or how hard he hit the ball, and he got people like he got pitchers and their coaches running schemes on how to throw against him. That's big, man.
That is big.
That's big, man. Like when somebody ain't taking you for granted or taking you light. You know what I mean? Yeah. So his story was cool. I love how he was just chill. You know what I mean? He big himself up or he took in his hand too much or whatever. He was in the story giving a lot of other people praises, for his success and in the midst of him being in the major leagues, like how he was still. If my memory serves me correct, he was putting bugs in other managers' ear and about people that he know. That if I think I good, I should go see this person or see that person or back home, and that really stand out for me when it came to Pico.
Yeah, for me, man, I know a lot about Pico. Mostly as I got older, but I used to always hear about Calvin Pickering, growing up and everything, man, and just getting a chance to really hear his story from his perspective and how he, growing up and playing Man League from young, and always been a feared and power hitter, and
yeah, you need, that's something you need to go check out, man. That sounds too good.
So.
Yeah, take a pause, man. You gotta go check that out.
I ain't hear nobody screaming. We good, man.
You still need to go make sure they are right, man. Go ahead, man. I could talk for a little bit.
You don't know my neighbors,
That's your neighbor?
It got to be it was right outside, so they're not doing some dumb heck outside, man. I rather stay inside than go outside and get upset. I just hope nothing happened to my car, but
I just let you know that was loud on my end. So
it was loud, so
okay.
I hear people outside playing music, so whatever they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but just hearing, Pico's story, man, his way coming through the minor league and, being with the Baltimore Orioles. I know he went with some other teams, but, he was in the Eastern, he was in American League Eastern Conference, and he's facing a lot of tough pitchers and everything. So, man, he, And like you said, he was in managers here saying how good some other players from the Virgin Islands is, man. So that was pretty cool to hear. But man, big up to Pico, man. He's a legend. Hopefully, you know, they could honor him back home, as well as everybody else that we had on the show. But man, his episode was real good. Like you said, he was real calm, real reserved. And he really toot his hand or anything. He was just chill, man. He's just like somebody you could just chill with, talk about a bunch of different sports, have a nice drink, play domino, play cards or something. And that's the type of person he came off to me as, man. Real cool dude, man. Real cool and humble dude, man. So much love to Pico.
Much love, Pico.
So now episode 9, we got the man, the legend, Dean McMillan Haywood.
So Mac's story was good for me because I didn't know Mac. I did know, but I didn't know. I never knew like his college stories and things like that. So Mac seemed like one of those players to me that, excuse me, like you ever came up about around a person that the name like he came up in the ranks with Zorro. So I'm pretty sure everybody was talking about Zorro. But then here you have a guy that is probably almost as good as Zorro, but like nobody really talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Mac went off and handled his business, came back, became a teacher, and everybody in Man League know about Mac because Mac was a force. Like he was, when Mac entered the room because he got the deepest voice in the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and Mac came up with some of the best quotes that we have ever heard on a basketball court. You know what I mean? Mac, when I don't know if Mac get the bus driver thing from there and one shot, but I remember Mac saying that, like the only person saying that in the Man League games, and it could be around the same time the and one shirts then start to come up because I remember seeing an one shirt that said, something about the which I think that person was. I always thought that faceless person was Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Him being the bus driver, you know what I'm saying, and taking players to school and stuff like that. So Mac was funny, witty, and just his story was just unmatchable, man. Like just listening to Mac talk, I could sit down and listen to Mac talk all day, and there will never be a dull moment. So his story was good.
Yeah, man. Getting a chance to really sit down, and listen to Mac tell his story was good, man. Because I spent a lot of time around Mac, man. Before I just said this, he's been a big influence in my life, man. You know what I'm saying? A father figure, a friend, a coach, a mentor, every single thing. I owe a lot. I owe my life to him too as well. So he's been an important person in the Virgin Islands, man. He have saved a lot of people's lives on St. Croix, a lot of young men lives on St. Croix, a lot. He saved so many people's lives, He's one of the few people that could have, how complex was Pan. He's one of the few people who could have put a kid in check without having to not raise his voice super loud or yell or threaten or anything like that. Once Mark come around and Mark say, "Hey, hold it down," that was it. I never seen somebody got so much respect from even I'll go to even say the killers.
The bad man them. We ain't gonna say killers. We ain't gonna say killers. The bad man them.
Yeah, whatever. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So, it just shows, how important he is to the Virgin Islands. So just getting a chance to hear his story, going through college and some of the challenges and everything, and coming home being a gym teacher, and then how he got the job to Complex, with VLA and everything, man, and then just building a dynasty, man, and giving opportunities to a lot of kids, man. So it was just good to hear his story, man. And he's been a mentor for so many years, man. So many years. So
right. And he's flying under the radar of how much he do for kids.
Yeah, he's definitely flying under the radar, man. I wish You know, I know they're gonna eventually retire his jersey and stuff. You know, but I think he definitely should have a gym or something named after him, man, or you know, name the complex court after him because I know the gym is after Tim Duncan, but he needs something in his honor that does lives on forever, man. He's done so much. He's done so much, man. So, you know, much love to Mac, man.
Much love to Mac, definitely. You know, like I said, I play for a lot of coaches, and Mac is definitely one of he up in the top ranks as far as my top coaches that I played for. I one of the things that used to stick out for me with Mac with playing, I like you said, Mac ain't got to raise his voice or whatever the case may be, and he to say, I wouldn't say the harshest thing in such the coolest way, you know, because Mac got swag. Mac is like the coolest person, you know what I mean? He just never he don't have to raise his voice because his voice is naturally deep already. You check. So
Yeah.
I remember times like I would like be effing up on a quote and I could just hear Mac and I say like you know when a coach like he pissed he disappointed or pissed off and he did a turn around and like walk in the opposite direction of where you there but saying something at the same time while you're down the court.
Yeah.
I could just remember hearing Mac say things like, man, what the F Pang doing, my son? What kind of bonehead play or like just like things like that. But then at the same time, he's still in pulling the strings on me, you know, because he know what type of player he is. I gonna mess up, but you better believe I ain't gonna be one of them type of players that gonna stay down court pouting or man, I running back to come and play defense. And so, you know, I gonna mess up. I ain't gonna be perfect on the court. So he never really had to tell me much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And or gear me much. If anything, he had to gear me was about going class, you know, like which most teachers and stuff had to gear me about. So, but yeah, Mac definitely was. He's either my top coach or the second top coach that I play for. So, depending on how I feel that day is how I gonna swing it is, and it's between he and Bo. Always between he and Bo. Top two coach I ever play for, and my brother. I play a team for my brother, and my first league ever. I play for my brother, so my brother they up in the top three too. So, he used to get me. So I definitely got to throw he up there. But yeah, just I love playing for Mac. Love it. Love playing for Mac.
You saying that about Pang effing up. I got two stories. This is the only two times that I know for sure. I don't think any other time Mac has ever been upset at me. But I know these two times he was upset at me, Pang. And real quick, me and Mac played together at Mandem. So I was his teammate as well too. He was my coach, with Zora and stuff. So he never got upset at me with Man League that I know of. But Pang, I have been late 3 times in my life in sports. And the 3 times I've been late, Neg has been with me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Neg has been with me all 3 times. So this is crazy. I remember we were playing a Central tournament. And me, Young, and Neg, we were running late. I can't remember who made us late, but one of them made us late. And we drive up to Central and Pang. This is my junior year, yeah. Going through my mind, I'm like, oh God, I wonder where Mac gonna send me son. Jeez, I'm just going through my mind, Pang. Drive up, we done late, and we talking in the car, me, Nega, Young. And he's like, the son Mac Raz gonna go crazy than us, my son. He gonna embarrass us in the gym. He might tell us don't even say come in the gym, like all kind of stuff going through our mind, and we talking about it in the sun. Pang, soon as I walk in the door, I don't know if I was the first or the last one. But I think I was the last one because I know I had to lock on my car and stuff. And Nega Young was already getting out the car, busting off. And I know when I walk in the gym, Pang, the look at Mac's face, brother. And you know that look. He'll look at you. And it's not a look of upset or disgust, but you know he upset at you.
Right.
He gave me that look. And as soon as I walk in the gym, Pang, this man looked me eye to eye. I could have feel like this man had flames coming through his eye and us burning me up, brother. Like And I was just like, oh God, man. And we had to ride the bench the whole game until not the whole game, but until the second half. But
that's so crazy because I got the same exact experience. But the only thing different is Mac did say something when I walk in the gym.
Oh yeah, we tell you.
Mac got this kind of thing that he'll do, right? He talking to you, but he ain't talking to you. So
okay,
I walk in the gym. I wake up late, and this is one of the reasons that I always tell my son this: like, you got game the next day, you got something important to do the next day, go to bed. Because when I was young, like at night, everybody know where Pang gonna be in the house at night. Pang gonna be laid up on in his bed on that phone, and they're gonna be up all night talking on the phone, like not realizing the importance that we got tournament tomorrow. I got to play ball tomorrow. I need to rest. I need to rest my body. You know what I'm saying? Because when we're young, we think we're team man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't stretching. We ain't doing none of them important things that you need to do to take care of your body. Anyways, let's say the tournament start at 9 o'clock. We playing rock, the first game of the day on a Saturday. And I probably went to sleep like maybe like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, talking on the phone. And some Mumbai wake up late, my son. I said, oh, if our game was started 9 o'clock, I probably wake up like 8:50. So now I still gotta get ready. The only good thing that's safe, like you never gotta go any place far in St. Croix. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a 10-minute drive up the road for me.
Yeah,
15 the most. And I remember when I walk in the gym, son, the game done going, son. I said, well, my God. Embarrassed. And I hear when I walk up to the bench, my son, and I going to pass the bench, all I hear is he ain't looking at me, he ain't talking to me directly. And my superstar, my son, late to the game. So big important game, and my superstar late to the game. My son. I'm like, and he talking loud, my son. So everybody in the gym could hear him, my son. And I saying, well, I just like embarrassed. And then Rock beat me that game there.
Oh God.
So you know, like I gain all the blame for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had to eat that because that was my fault.
That was your fault, yeah.
I was not disciplined at all, knowing that we got game all in the morning. We had a good practice the night before in school. And man, and we end up not winning that tournament. Central end up winning that tournament there. Mm-hmm. That year there, everybody win their own tournament. That was the first year. No, that was the second year. Everybody win their own tournament. When we went Rock win their tournament. When we went Central win their tournament, and Complex. That was my senior year. And we win our tournament. So yeah, I had that same experience. Same experience. Waking up late and having to walk in that gym and knowing that I was so pissed. And it won't just Mac telling me shit, you know. Because you know when you're in the island, not that it's a bad thing. I think we need more of it. Every adult in the gym is your parent. So everybody's scolding you, my son. My son, Pang, what happened? My son, like, what, my son? Like every adult that's a fan of Pang or a fan of Complex, they vex. You know what I'm saying? So as I walk in, everybody, like this person here, this person there, man, woman, and child got something to throw in my ear while I walk in by, my son. And honestly, it's one of the worst feelings ever, mister. And as a competitor, man, like you just feel like you let your brothers down, mister. You let your people down, and so because we end up losing that game, man. That shit pissed me off, brother.
Yeah, I wasn't that late, so they were in layup line, but that's crazy, man. And then my other story with Mac, like the other one is like when you were saying that you was messing up. I remember I had a time we were playing Central, and we were in Complex Gym, and we were getting destroyed. Central were beating me bad. And I did like a crazy spin move into a jump shot, and that wasn't even my game. And listen, Pang, as soon as I shoot the ball, it was like a line drive, hit the rim hard. And then I look at Mac, and Mac is staring me, and he just do this. He just gave me that look, that same look, and shake his head. I'd be like, don't even do that again in your life. Like that type. I was like, oh God. But that's the only 2 times I think Mac ever been mad at me, brother. That I know, you know. So, man, but big up to Mac, man.
Yes, sir.
Episode. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Pine.
No. That was it. That was it. That's cool.
Yeah. Episode 10, we had Rasan Smith, man. Rasan Smith, big bro.
So Rasan's story was good too. Like just
Yeah.
I just like when you get to leave the sport the way you want to leave it, and it don't have to please anybody else, whoever watching, all the naysayers, whatever, but it feels good to you because you know to yourself, if I continue playing, I ain't gonna give it my all because the love ain't there no more.
Yeah.
And he just decided that, hey, that's it for me. I satisfied with where I've been and where I went and where I'm about to go. Like I'm good with this. But it's that feel good to know that what type of player he was or is, and it's not because he wasn't good enough that he couldn't make it. We all know that he was good enough. Just hearing his story, I learned it then from his story that he was good enough. I never saw him play, but the way how he told his story, it made me a believer. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that's what stood out to me, that he get to leave the game on his own terms and feel good about it. And now he could be he is still the best dad he could be, you know, the best family man he could be, you know, and it like just leaving the game that way didn't change nothing about him. He still grew up to be a productive person in the community. So could he ask for nothing more?
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Yeah, Rasan, you know, I know Rasan since 8, 9 years old, man, and he was an amazing pitcher, man. He was always an amazing pitcher. I didn't really know his story like that. You know how he got into college, where damn, what that partner name is again, the white dude. You know, got him into college, and he went to college, and you know how the coach was and all that stuff, you know, and everything, man. And you know, he been through a lot in college, and like you said, man, you know, he left on his own terms. He didn't like the game anymore. He didn't love the game anymore, and he just left. And that's if you don't like it anymore, you just gotta leave, man. You know, he did the right thing. But just the fact that how he got into college was interesting and surprising. You know, with the talent that he had. You know, same thing. You know, he should have been, more better off. But it's his story was amazing, and I think Pang, I want to say that was like the first episode that really was like, man, you've been through a lot. You know, like
Right.
we had Pang, Shotgun, Tyrone, Alec, Terry, Coffee, Bases, Zoro, Pico, Mac, and then we had Rasan. So the previous 9 episodes, guys been through, but it was really his episode is really what kind of started off was like, man, we was like, man, that's messed up and etc. etc. So, much love to Rasan, man, sharing his story. His brother has a lot of history too. Kareem. So hopefully we could get him on the show. He could kind of link us with their generation of baseball that lead up to our generation of baseball, etc. So hopefully we could get him on the show as well.
Yeah, shouts out to Vanessa and Karim because those are the two that I know. I never had met Rasan until the interview, but I've always known Vanessa, and Karim was a ball player too. So I never saw Karim play in school. I catch Karim like maybe when I came 7th grade. Karim was in 9th grade in Arta, and so I when on my way in he was going out. So I always been like behind him. So, but I never get to see him play in Arta. But any league, anytime you go and play pickup ball anywhere, Karim always there. You check, so especially in the West. So that's how I know Karim. Just from the leagues them around the island and just playing pickup ball, especially Tongue Court. We used to Karim always there on Tongue Court playing ball. You know what I'm saying? I never play ball against Karim and Wim for where he coming up and where he live, Campo Rico or Wim? Campo Rico, but still, Campo Rico players are playing Wim Court, right?
That's a good question, brother.
Well, I know he from playing in Tongue, and more so than less. And maybe even Raleigh. Seeing he playing Raleigh a lot though.
Yeah, he was playing all over.
Right.
He was around. Yeah, Karim was around.
But that's how I know Kareem. But I know Kareem and Vanessa like all through my Arta days. That was my first meeting of Rasan. So big up to Vanessa and Kareem and Rasan.
They go to the Smith family real quick. I want to say last year Kareem make a post on Facebook page, and he said, when I used to play basketball growing up, which NBA, I want to say he said, which NBA player I remind me of.
Oh, who he remind you of?
Yeah, who he remind? Yeah, he was asking, and the name people were saying, 6-man bench player, naming all kind of horrible names, brother. It was funny. Check box.
But he was always the hustle man for real, though. Honestly, like Kareem is the type of player that you put on the court, go harass that man there. That's your only job. Is just and he doing. That's exactly what he doing. He ain't going for no rebound. He ain't going for no steal, no nothing. He gonna put his chin on your shoulder and just follow you all the way around and just harass you. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of player he was. But
it's funny you said that because in the post, that was probably, I want to say, most of the comments was hustle.
Yeah, so he definitely was a hustle man. But I didn't see that post there. I didn't see that there because I would have definitely put that there in.
Yeah, man. So episode 11, we had Robbie Smiles.
Was I on for that one? Is Robbie Smiles? Oh yes, I definitely was.
Robbie
okay,
Smiles.
I definitely was on for him. Well, I ain't gonna mention Carlos yet, but his story is movie worthy.
Facts.
His story is movie worthy.
Facts.
I'm not saying that other people that we interviewed so far, I'm not saying that none of them ever did anything out there in the streets, but it definitely wasn't out there in the streets where people knew. And nothing that they have ever said anyone has ever said on the podcast. His story was real. You know, he was battling with being a superstar in a sport and being a John Gotti out on the street.
He said John Gotti.
No, seriously.
No, you know you said John Gotti. I mean, it's just made me laugh.
So he had the above the rim story.
Big up to Body, rest in peace, Tupac.
Right. He had the above the rim story. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's a kid with tremendous talent and everybody know it. And he's the type of players that the street people shouldn't allow this man to come around. Bust this man some cuff and send him anyway or something or wherever, and just he can't come around. You know what I'm saying? But he probably had so much respect out there already on the street that nobody was doing that. They probably knew what type of person he was anyway.
Yeah.
Probably, or his family or whoever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just saying this is how I envision it. But his story was real. And he is definitely what you truly call a success story. And he used the program, the rehabilitating program, because that's what jail is supposed to be.
Yeah.
A rehabilitation program. And he used the program to exactly what it was made for. Ain't just to punish you and it's to shed some light on or I don't even know the right word, but it's to bring things into reality, man. You know what I mean? Like knock some sense into you. You know what I'm saying? And he used the program exactly for what it's for. He got caught up in some things that, you know, like he shouldn't have been a part of. He knew it at the time. He knew it then. He knew it now. But he ain't let that slow him down. You know what I'm saying? He ain't let that change him. He ain't let that, you know, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, got caught up in a situation that caused him to be in prison. But when he was in prison, he made up his mind and to you know what? I gonna use this time to become a better person, use my time wisely, and to help others. Man started to run a program in jail, and it led him into being able to come out. You know, a lot of people, when they come out of prison, they cannot rejoin society. It's hard for them because they've been in so long, but he was able to do it. Working for the government now. When do you see somebody go to prison and come back out and work for the government? You know what I mean? And his main goal is to help kids. His story is real. It's a movie-worthy story, a book-worthy story, you know? And he is one of the person that his interview was. I proud of everybody of their story, but I got a different feeling of being proud of him. Like I don't feel like just happy, you know, or like proud. Like I proud of that man's story. Like I proud that this man sat down with us and shared his story, and I get to like meet Robbie Smile. Not what was it? What he nicknamed be?
Robbie.
Okay, Robbie.
Yeah.
Meet Roberto Smiles. That's Roberto's name, right? I'm proud that I get to meet Roberto Smiles and not Robbie Smiles. You know what I'm saying? Because like his story is just real, man.
Yeah, man. His story is real. Like you said, it should be, you know, it's a movie worthy, book worthy, you know, even a documentary. That's something that all, you know, kids should learn about. You know what I'm saying? He was living that street life, and he was, you know, he was amazing baseball player. So, you know, kids could see what happens, you know, when you're involved in the streets, you know. I just appreciate him giving us the opportunity for him to sit down, you know what I'm saying, and share his story with us. And we able to, you know, honor and celebrate him. You know, he was in Sports Illustrated, you know, as a youngster. You know, and you pretty much touch on everything, Pang. You know, he had a second chance to life, and he's doing what he wants to do now. You know, like you said, helping the kids. Them, he's doing some good things. You know, so you know, much love to Robbie, man. I got a chance to meet him when I went down to Genix funeral. That was the first time me meeting him and stuff like that. You know, so you know, it was good to meet him. You know, because you know when I played Little League. And so when we play baseball, we used to always hear about this Robbie Smiles, baseball player, etc. You know, so you know, hopefully he continues to help out the youth them and do big things. I know you say you have a job with the government, so that's good. So hopefully some you know, some programs and stuff is coming along, and maybe he could get in the baseball field and help the kids them, you know, drop some knowledge and wisdom. You
And
know,
not to cut you on correction. I ain't gonna say he got a job. I think he said somebody's trying to line up something for him. I think that's how he wanted. And by now I hope he got it. You know, so I gonna take that back to say that he working for the government, because I ain't 100% sure. I think he said he had something lined up for him. So if my memory serves me correct.
okay. Yeah, man. So, you know, big up to Tegan. He was able to make that happen for us, you know. So you know, big ups to Robbie Smiles. We got episode 12. We have Calvert White.
Now, Calvert, I had known a lot, not all, about Calvert. So it was just good for me to sit down and chat with Calvert. I haven't seen Calvert in a long time, but at one point of my early adult life, I used to have chances to hang out with Calvert every summer, coming home playing for the national team. And when I was a young buck on the national team, like Calvert and Shakes and Leroy Blyden was the three that like took me under their wing. The only things I never used to do with them, man, is when they go club. You know what I'm saying? I used to always stay home with Bo. Stay behind with Bo. But them man used to be like going out and hanging out and so. But outside of that, I was hanging with them man everywhere. You know what I mean? So Calvert was always a big brother to me, and playing on the national team, and never made me felt like again, not a person that never tried to son me. You know what I'm saying? Little boy me or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, um, just used to be himself around me. You know what I mean? So we just develop a friendship. Excuse me. We just develop a friendship that just gonna live as long as the both are we there and this art. You know what I mean? And um, just hearing his story that he wasn't when he started off, he definitely wasn't the best. He wasn't, you know, like the most looked at, the more sought out, and like everybody want Calvert to play on their team if a league were running, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he just walked his way into becoming the professional that he is. You know what I'm saying? And Calvert always had that fire on the court. You know what I mean? The he became the captain of the national team for some years before Tegan took it over, because of his personality on the court, because of his drive, his leadership. You know what I mean? And there's no question that the right person is in the position that he's in, because he's a natural born leader. You know what I mean? And it just hearing his story, it was just like coming together like we always do every summer. And sometimes when we out in the courtyard at the hotel, just up all night talking. That's how that interview felt for me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and while I'm learning some things about the Calvert White, the person, you know what I mean? So Calvert interview was real good. And like Calvert is definitely gonna be one of my brothers for life. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like he's another one. Every once in a while, Calvert will just text me with something that from the trip or about somebody that we talk about, because like sometimes your mind will just run on things and it make you think about certain people, and you just send them a text. You remember this or you remember that, or like when we have first start doing the interview, Calvert is one of the person that would be texting me while the interview going on. Like somebody would say something and he would text me something funny to say or something. So there was some interview when I would say something, it won't really coming from me. It would coming from Calvert. He texts me a line or something that brings something back to memory, and so you check. So yeah, Calvert interview was good. I proud of him for the position that he is in right now, and I know he has a mindset to just use the position to push ideas and be able to take ideas from his employees and just push the needle further.
For me, you know, I met Calvert, you know, with the VA national team going to Barbados as well too. And then after that, I never really spoke to him. I haven't really spent any time with Calvert, man. Just you know, just was able to have the opportunity to have him on the show and you know hear his story. And it was you know, I never knew he played baseball. That was his first sport. You know, he started basketball late, man, and then just his journey, you know, into college and then you know going to that school. I want to say it was in Missouri, so West Missouri. I can't remember, but it was in Missouri. You know, and then you know playing pro basketball, man. So just I think him starting basketball late and having the opportunity to get basketball scholarship and then make basketball part of his life, you know, getting paid for it was really unique, you know. So and I know he's the guy at St. Croix, you know, and you know he has a tough job, you know. So you know, hopefully everything goes well with Calvert, man. You know, he told us if we ever need anything to hit him up and stuff. So we just definitely appreciate Calvert and his generosity and everything, man. So much love to Calvert.
I want to say this about Calvert too. Calvert and Shakes and Carl are the first two professional basketball players I've ever met. Like, and when I mean professional, I mean like professional, like they didn't make the NBA, but they was professionally making money playing basketball. Those are the first two professional outside of Bo, because Bo played overseas too. It was in Puerto Rico. But outside of Bo, Calvert and Shakes was the first two professional players I've ever met, because they were active professional.
Episode 30, we had Stephanie Piety Williams.
So for me, I knew Pidy. I knew Pidy for a long time, especially being around Central coming up and playing ball in Central, playing man league and just being close to Shaky. Pidy was always around, and she was always around the game of basketball. I never knew Pidy was a good basketball player. That part I never knew until we started these podcasts, and the people started to say things about we need to get Pidy on, we need to get Pidy on, and that's when I started hearing the stories.
Yeah.
But before that, I never knew Pidy was a basketball, that she was good in playing basketball. So listening to Pidy's story, and then another one, she left the game on her own terms. Pidy said, "Man, this just ain't for me. I going back home. Like, I am needed in the Virgin Islands, so that's what I'm going to do." And just to hear how good she was, we know Pidy would have, as long as she had played long enough, we know she would have definitely make it to the WNBA if she had played long enough to be around. But it was just, her story was good, man. Just to see what she was doing. She wasn't playing she was playing in girls league, but she was also playing in men's league, in boys league, because she was that good. And we heard Pastor Mona Barnes talk about her. We heard a few other female interview, or maybe one other interview, I think, talk about her. And it just, everybody who mentioned Pidy name always talk about how much of a good shooter she was and how dominant she was. She was just dominant, and it seems like it sounded like Pidy was Michael Jordan in NBA playing against college players. That's just how it sounded to me. Pidy was scoring 100 points in game, 70 points in game, 60 points in game. So it seemed like she was the female of Tyrone that didn't see anybody. Like, she didn't see a defender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, Pidy's story was good.
Yeah, Pidy's story was real good, real fascinating. I used to always hear stories how good Pidy was. What stood out to me was the fact that, when she was playing, she had to play with the boys them when she was a kid, man, and it was, all the stuff she had to go through as a girl playing with the guys them, so you could just imagine during them times how difficult it was, and then, her accomplishments and achievements playing, man, scoring 70 something points in a game. You touched on how good she was as a shooter and everything, man. I know she's been a mentor and an influence to a lot of the young male and female in the Virgin Islands, so and then her husband as well too. So, and then her son as well, went on to play college and professional as well too. So, much love to Pidy, man. Much love to Stephanie.
I'm gonna say about Pidy interview. One thing that stood out to me: if this, let's say this podcasting ever go further than what it is, and we have to get like professional with it, I would love Pidy to be our director. I don't know if you remember Pidy interview.
Yeah, I remember it.
Pidy start our interview on time. She made the job so easy. Pidy start our interview on time. It took her a little while to get the internet and everything going, but once she started, Pidy controlled the dynamic of the interview, and then she we had a good time. Like, she was like punctual with her story, like her steps. We didn't really ask no questions, or Pidy, she went through her timeline. She like broke it up so perfect. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember.
And then it was like, okay, the interview, like, we gonna end it here at this point. She was punctual. So if we ever like go like abroad with this or whatever, this turned out to be more. I want Pidy to be our director. She gonna keep we in check, in line. She gonna make sure we stay on the course, and that's one thing that stood out on the interview with me. She was she probably was the most professional interviewee that we had.
We got episode 40. We got Sunil Charles.
Man. And Sunil probably was the person out of everybody that we interviewed. Sunil was probably the one that he just knew what he wanted to be, or wanted to get out of this, or wanted to, where his goals were, and just where he was going to be. Like me, I play basketball like strictly for the love of the sport. But I gonna be honest with I didn't set goals for NBA or college, or like, man, I was so in the now. You know what I'm saying? Having fun now and playing and having fun now. I never thought about college. And Sunil was the interviewee that by the end of this year, I want to accomplish this. And going into next year, I want to be this good. And he ain't just saying it. He working towards it. I don't think I heard anybody in any of our interview was doing that coming up. I think a lot of the interviewees was like me. They probably was thinking about college in 11th and 12th grade, but Sunil seemed like he was thinking about this from the time he started playing. Like, these are the things that he envisioning for himself. And he put his mind to it, and he started working on them goals. And that's why he became the type of player that he was. He was a cerebral player on the court. Like, Sunil was the type of player that he could tell you everything that he gonna do. Like he talking to the defender, he could tell you everything that he gonna do, down to the T, where he gonna shoot the ball off the glass, or after he done, I'm gonna bounce the ball 3 times, put through my legs, I'm gonna go left, you're gonna try to reach for it, but I'm gonna spin on you, and I'm gonna pull up and hit it off the glass. And he is the type of person that will go out and do it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at Sunil, as that type of person. And his interview was so like it was so inspirational, man. Like, that's how I want to teach my son. You know what I'm saying? Or that's what I want my son to get out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell him something and he take it, go home, like maybe like read a book about it, or go home, watch a video to see how somebody else do it, or somebody else, and but this is how I gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, he always thought about the game technically, you know, and once he thought about it mentally, then he go and work on the physically. You know what I mean? And that's how I view. I took his interview. Like, he was just so, he had his goals and he was set on his goals, and ain't nothing else was gonna distract you from all of that.
For me, Sunil, his episode was really eye-opening for me. I learned a lot from him. I heard about him, but I never really knew him. He was you could just tell, like, he was real disciplined, very disciplined, hard worker, work hard. You know, also he touched on basic, you know, being an important part, helping him out as well too. You know, he went to college. I want to say he went to college in the Midwest. You know, some challenges, you know, etc. with the whole, you know, different parts of the country. What also stood out to me was that he had the opportunity to maybe play pro, but he was having his son then, and he just didn't want to be, you know, missing out on those important years of his kid, man. So that really stood out to me, that he had the opportunity, but he made a bigger sacrifice, you know. So his episode was real nice, real good, man. So, you know, big up and much love to Sunil, man. Much love. Episode 50.
Before you go, one thing I would say about Sunil too, Sunil was the only one of my peers. Like, when I say peers, someone my age or maybe a year or two older, that won't call me Pang. Sunil used to call me Mr. Hajj, which only adults would do. Like, you know, like my teacher or somebody, or Sunil used to call me Mr. Hajj. So Sunil was a professional before he was a professional.
Episode 15, we have Eugene Genix Thomas.
And that's the episode with he call in. I think he called in at the end. So I live in Genix story through all our baseball players. And Genix sound like he's an amazing guy. His 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 life was about teaching kids the game of baseball and disciplining them to grow up to become the best human being in society, by discipline. If you could discipline yourself in baseball, you could discipline yourself in anything in life to become the best at it. He seemed very technical of teaching the sport. I don't think I heard anybody say a bad thing about Genix that came on and gave a comment about him. I don't think I heard not one bad thing. I never met Genix. I never knew of Genix until this show started, but there was a few names that became a common name in everybody interview, and he was definitely one of them. And my Jacksonville mother always tell me, like, when somebody live as long as he lived, I don't know how old he was when he passed, if you don't mind me asking.
I think it was 85, 86. I'm not sure, boy. It's around that. And if I'm way off, I apologize, but I really do think it's around that.
Genix lived his life. Seems like he lived his life the way he wanted to. And he coached all the way up to the end. How much coach do you know to coach all the way up to the end and coach that long? You know what I'm saying? A lot of coaches retire and then they talk from afar. From the way how I talk about Genix, it seemed like Genix was coaching last summer before the pandemic started. You know what I'm saying? And that's a person, man. That's somebody. That's like a king, man, or a coach. The king coach. That's the type of person you call you the king coach, because he coached that person that coaching you, that coach that person that coaching that person right now. Like that's how much generation he coached. You know what I'm saying? He probably coached like 6 or 7 generations. So think about 7 generation of people like he coached that now they coaching this person and that person coaching that person. Like, like that's the king coach. I sorry that I never got a chance to meet him. And when we do this VI celebrity baseball game and I root you up, I would have wished to meet him then, and he was one of the person that could be there. You know what I mean? When I anybody I put on the mound, I can just rock them out the park.
That's funny. Man, for me, it was it was an honor just to be able to have him call in, man, and people, the viewers and everybody was able to hear his voice, and some of the stuff he kind of talked about in that short period of time was real. It was real amazing, First coach I ever had in my life, he taught me how to play, man. He taught me how to play. He taught me everything in baseball. I spent 5 years with Genix coaching him, and then I went on to Haywood. Genix and Haywood is the reason why this idea came about with the whole honoring everybody, So, one thing I learned from Genix, and as an adult, when I reflect, and everything was preparation. The importance of preparation. In sports and just preparation in life, but mostly was in sports, and he was ahead of his time. When we was young, he would make shakes, food shakes and stuff for us and everything, man. So I mean, I won't be the person I am today if it wasn't for him too, because he's the one that had me first, start me out with baseball and everything. He's impacted a lot of people's lives, man. A lot of people's lives. He saved a lot of people's lives as well too. So I mean, I could go on and on with about Genix and everything, man, but it was just good that Mona Barnes was able to fill in for Genix because he had picked her and she did a great job telling his story. So shout out to Mona Barnes, shout out to Genix, rest in peace. He was able to call in and we was able, like I said earlier, we was able to hear his voice, man. So people could always go back and listen to our episode and really, you could fast forward and just listen to the part where he called in, man, and everything, so that was real touching. It was amazing, man. But much love to his whole family and everything. So,
Yeah, I was glad he was able to call into and just talk about you for a little bit, and talk about how he recruited you or how he get you started. And them is the type of people that you want to be around. This is his moment, but he bigging you up. You know what I mean? And talking about, how proud that he was of you and like and you the type of person is a perfect example when somebody touch you, no pun intended, but when somebody touch you the right way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you always been in touch with him, always been in contact with him. So he definitely left a mark on you in a positive way because you was definitely staying close to him and always getting his guidance throughout your whole career, all the way up to when you was in the minor league. You were still reaching out to Genix and getting solid advice from him.
Yeah, Fox, well said. That's true. That's true, man. That is true. Rest in peace to Genix. Rest in peace to Horace Clark. Rest in peace to Elmo Plaskett. If I'm forgetting any names, Vami Thomas, rest in peace. He was he's the one that taught Genix baseball. So rest in peace to Vami Thomas. Rest in peace to all the different coaches and everybody who had an impact in Virgin Islands history. Apologize if I forgot any names. So we are to episode 16 and we have Coach Raymond Lockhart.
Now Lockhart's story, I kind of had my mind on what type of person Lockhart is because I knew Lockhart through my brother, like going out and watching their games, and some of the Saturday practice I was able to get in I used to go in the gym while they're practicing and so, and just seeing how they used to run, man. Like that's my first experience of like how a hard practice. Like they used to run, like why they used to blow out teams, because in practice they're going hard at each other. You know what I mean? Like everybody from the lesser person to the like they're just going at it. You know what I mean? And the way how Lockhart used to practice, like defense is a key. You know what I mean? Like it was all about defense, and if you could stop a team from scoring, how they gonna win? Like really think about it. If you could stop a team from scoring, they got no chance of winning.
That's true.
You could go down and miss your shot 10 times, but if you stop them 10 times in the same way, they ain't gonna put a lead. They like if you can't score, you can't win. So, and that was they led half of defense, and then even though Tyrone was the star, Tyrone wasn't the most important person on the team. If that makes any sense to any basketball person, like, or anybody out there. Even though Tyrone was a star, he wasn't the most important person on the team. Like they all were. You know what I'm saying? Like they all played their role well. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made Central so good. Everybody played their role. They was the best of their role on the team. Like Tyrone was a star, but I'm the best at block and shot. I'm the best at rebound. I'm the best at dunking. I'm the best at locking somebody down. Like everybody had a role to play, and that's why it made Tyrone not being the most important person on the team, but he's a star. If that makes any sense. But Lockhart's story was good. He's another one that he helped out a lot of people, man. You know what I mean? Like just instilling that discipline in them and guidance and his coaching style. Man, his coaching style is almost unmatched, my son, because like especially nowadays, coach don't coach like how Lockhart the coach nowadays. Like like I go in coaches like my son them practice and so on, like don't even seem like he teaching them anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny. That's crazy.
It don't seem like coach, like they coach, but they don't teach. You know what I'm saying? Like these coach nowadays, they're expecting the kids to come in and know the game already. They just want to coach. They want to teach. You know what I mean? And that's not how Lockhart was or is. It's a program. That's why they call it a program. We start here. By this time, we should be here. And by this time, we should be successful. Like by the end, we should be successful. And successful don't mean winning a championship or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's helping these kids to become the best player that they could be, the best person that they could be, to go off in life and be successful. And that's the type of coach that he is. So hearing his story was good. I know Lockhart for a long time as far as me knowing him. So that was like my first time as an adult ever talking to Lockhart. Last time I saw Lockhart, I was one of his players at his camp, his Central camp. Because I think by the time I get to Central, he left. So I never get to play for him. I only played for his summer camp team.
For me, Lockhart's story was interesting because I didn't realize how much of an impact G-Nix had on him. You know, he was kind of like under G-Nix tutelage in a way you want to say. You know, I always used to hear stories about Lockhart, man. I used to always hear stories about Lockhart, you know, the type of coach he is, and just being there and, you know, talking to him. He was like he was like chill, man. He was like funny, always cracking jokes, relax. Like you would never think he was that type of person just from the stories that I heard about Lockhart, you know, and he went on to coach high school basketball for many years. You know, he was able to coach, you know, Mountain, as well too, you know. So his story was good, man. I learned a lot from him as a coach and his philosophy and the way how he approached the game and everything, man. You know, so he was real cool and chill, man. I had this interpretation of Laka being this drill sergeant and everything, man, but maybe he was, but on the podcast he was chill, you know.
Right.
And same thing, that was my first time really. It's funny because that was my first time actually meeting him, but he used to be around the baseball and stuff like that, you know, with his son Randy playing on Reds and stuff, and his nephews Rasan and Kareem, you know, as well too. So he was around. I just didn't know he used to coach basketball and stuff, but you know, his episode was good, man. Being able to just hear his information about himself. Episode 17, we have Richard Clinton.
No, I definitely wasn't there for that. That name don't even ring a bell to me.
All right, so we have Richie on, you know, episode 17. His episode was interesting. His episode was good, man, because the fact that coming up, he was one of the top players in St. Thomas, and the same thing, how, you know, the way how he got into college and everything, man, and his time in college. I don't want to confuse his episode with KLX, but I think they had similar episodes, you know, in high school, how their batting average and how good they hit in high school and everything. But he has some challenges in college. And then, you know, he's a coach, and just hearing him talk and his coaching philosophy and the way he approached the game from a coaching perspective was like mind-boggling to me, man. Like he's one of the perfect coach, man, you know, coaching girls softball, and he's doing a great job, man, and he's had a major impact on the community over in St. Thomas, man. So
I might have been there for that interview now that you're talking. But you know.
Yeah, man, but you know, his episode was good, man. His episode was real good, man.
Isn't he the one that he actually lives St. John, or so he the coach at St. John? Not St. Thomas? Was he in one of his facilities doing the interview? Like he was.
No.
Who had on the blue like a coaching shot like a,
that was Juice Dwayne Maduro.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we are on episode 18. We have Anderson Andy Harbot.
The Jamaican prankster. Oh, so Andy's story was good, man. Like Andy was definitely our I told you he from St. John, but but we probably still talking about two different people. But anyways, Andy was definitely the Virgin Islands Shaquille O'Neal, and it's so funny because Andy start coming up in the ranks like right after Shaq come on the scene. So he didn't get called Shaq much, but that's how he stood out to us. You know what I'm saying? As far as his size goes, and then his agility, because as a big player, Andy used to always want to show off. He handles, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like when you playing with a player as with his size, and you playing on his team, or I never played on his team like that, but the concept of playing as his team, you want him to back people down, but he wasn't that type of player. Andy was the type of player, he out there shooting trees, he trying to show off, he handles and stuff like that. But when he get the opportunity to, he will tear it in you. And he trying to go home with the rim. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like he didn't play a big man game or he couldn't play a big man game. But I think Andy was always trying to show more than being a big man. And we didn't talk about that much on his show. And I actually remember that after we interviewed him. And I always said, if we ever going to talk about Andy again, I'm going to bring that up. Andy had handles. And but his interview was good. Andy's another one that it just seems like he had basketball was just something that he could do. But it just always seemed like he had different goals in life, and he set his goals and he was, you know, out to get him. You know what I'm saying? And he was a professional before he was a professional. So Andy's story was good. I run into Andy here in Jacksonville in the club one time, and Andy was in the club in a full-blown suit. Like it just seemed like he's always working. You know what I'm saying? Like I honestly think either he was a client and somebody treating he to a night in Jacksonville, or he was working a client in the club or something like that. If my memory serves me correct, but it just seems like he always have a productive agenda, and he's always going out for his agenda. You know what I mean? So his interview was good. You know, proud to know Andy. Andy is funny. You know, he got some good stories, and we all know about the famous Jamaican prankster.
Yeah, his story was good, man. Everything, same thing, man. You know, the thing that stands out to me mostly with the stories, then is just the adversity and everything. You know, he started playing baseball. You know, playing Little League baseball. You know, for Genix and everything. You know, his dad, rest in peace, Mr. Harbot. You know, good friends with Genix and everything, and you know, he's picked up basketball. You know, went on to college, play professional. You know, he kind of touched on some stories, his first trip and everything, man. And you touched on the Jamaican accent. You know, first time I really got to know Andy was when on a St. VI trip, you know, to Barbados. He was my roommate as well too. You know, so he didn't discuss a lot what he's doing now. So I know a lot more than what he said and everything. So, but you know, he's a good dude, man. One of the nicest person, but don't cross him, you know. But much love to Andy, man. Much love to Andy. Big up to Anderson Harbot. Episode 90, we have Judge GB Bailey.
And this is your college mate, right?
No, he went to the college that I went to, but he was before me.
Okay. Well, you say your college mate. Your alumni. Um, George's story was good. And if my memory serves me correct, he had some adversity in a different school, right? Before coming to Bethune, right?
Yeah.
Or he okay. Man, we did so much interview and the basketball people like I always remember, but I do have trouble remembering the baseball people because I didn't know them coming up. So um but his story was good. He definitely had some adversity that he went through. And he went to is he the one that went to tree school? Because he went to didn't he go to a different school even after Bethune? Like he
No,
didn't he end up in Benedict College?
no, he went to he got remember he GB got drafted. He got drafted twice. The first time he got drafted, and then he went to college, but he didn't play. He didn't play that year,
Okay,
even though
now I
he was
remember.
drafted. You
Right.
remember? Yeah.
Okay. And then so that he was a story where they had the rights to him the first year.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers had the rights for him. He had a good first year. His second year wasn't all the best, but they still drafted him again, right?
Yeah.
And then he didn't. He decided to go one more year in college, and I guess that's where, if my memory serves me correct, that's where they just he either he had got injury or something that slowed him down a little bit, and that's when they stopped calling or they stopped looking or
No,
he got
he just didn't have the opportunity again.
gotcha.
He had good 2 years at the same school that him and Byron went to. He said he had the record for highest batting average, total batting average, I want to say, in a career. And then he went to Cookman. He had a good year at Cookman, and he just didn't get the opportunity to get drafted again.
Mhm.
And so it was something where he was like, I'm not sure, I can't remember, but maybe he should have just signed, etc., etc. But his own was real interesting, man. Real interesting. Just everything he'd been through. Same thing with Terry Barron. He was like a powerhouse coming up literally with his with ESPS.
No, no, I remember fully because he was the one that went to school in Fort Myers. Yeah, and he got a record at the school in Fort Myers. Okay, yes. Yeah, his story was good. He went through a lot of adversity there too. Just he had a lot of success too. Like from what he was talking, like basically he was having fun in the process and impressing people, and that's really why the scouts came coming because he was doing his thing up there. And yeah, that his story was good. I just learning the baseball stories, the baseball players' story is always good for me because basketball is really the only sport that I know. Up to this day, I still learning football as well. So just listening to all your stories when it comes to baseball, it'll be fascinating to me because it gives me a piece of the game. You know what I mean? And I wish that I had took the game more serious back then, not to play, but at least to follow. You know what I mean? Especially in the Virgin Islands, because I think baseball is just as important as basketball on the island. You know what I mean? Um, sports could help kids. Period. It could help them with discipline. You know what I mean? Like you give a kid an opportunity. Who knows what it might do to them? Might have been a person that was heading to the path of the streets, but playing a sport and seeing that, man, I could do this professionally. It might take them off the street and get them into the books, start to do their work, so they could be successful. And like, so I wish I had knew a lot of Ayo growing up on the baseball scene because it would have given me a better understanding of the game, and I've been able to love the game more and appreciate it more than I do now. Like I don't appreciate the sport of baseball because I think it's boring. Like honestly, I think baseball is boring, but listening to our stories, it don't be boring. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I could now watch a few innings and hopefully that grow into more, and like I could watch a whole game. I don't gotta be doing something else at the same time, but still, I could have the TV there for a whole game and just keep up with it. You know what I mean? So his story was good.
Episode 20, we have Lynn Liebert.
I know Lynn was good. I didn't know Lynn was as good as it was for the Virgin Islands. When you could not really just play for one team, like you got everybody, like when we got tournament, I want you to come. That how much people came on and that was happening for them. Like think about it.
It's true.
Now I saw Lynn play, and she was definitely an animal on the court, like a beast. Like she used to go out and get hers. You know what I'm saying? She always played hard, and just like Tyrone, she saw no one. You know what I'm saying? She was always the mouth of the team, like game people, like, man, like what the hell are you doing? Let me go. You know what I'm saying? Like Lynn would be literally carrying the team. Like when everybody like 3 players happen against them, that don't break her stride. You know what I mean? It don't make her feel down. It actually push her more. Because we got to try not to make this lead go from 6 to 8, 8 to 10. So when everybody they'll get lows on the court collectively as a team, where another team could go on a 8-10 points run. You know what I mean? But that don't stop her. It don't slow her down. Like the game is never out of reach for her. You know what I'm saying? So the level of play don't change. And that's I could see, like when you see people like that on the court, you just know what type of person they be in life, the man. Like you just know wherever Lynn doing, like she gonna always be pushing to be the best. You know what I mean? So Lynn's story was good. She was filling some shoes, which is very hard to do when you have a legendary parent. It's hard to fill that parent's shoes. You know what I'm saying? But her mother never shelter her with or push her career or her status on her. She never put that pressure on her. You know what I'm saying? Her mother kind of like step aside and let somebody else, bring her up in the ranking, because she didn't want to put that pressure on her. You know what I mean? So Lynn was able to supersede and follow in her mother footsteps, both baseball and basketball, and be good at both sport. So softball, as I had to say.
Man, Lynn episode was very, very interesting. Real touching too as well. When I was going to high school, Lynn was going to high school, and she was one of the top basketball players. While I was going to high school, then, what kind of stood out to me was her adversity that adversity that she faced in college with the coach and everything that she had to transfer and stuff like that, man. So that really, really stood out. That really touched my heart. What she been through, and that was episode 20. And some of the top players in the Virgin Islands, sometimes people might think that they have an easy road in college, and sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's the hardest road in your life. So she held on strong. She have done a lot for the youths them as well too, in the Virgin Islands and over in St. Thomas as well. So much love and big up to Lynn, representing the VI in so many ways, man. And she's been an amazing athlete as well too, multi-sport athlete. Episode 21, we have Madre Cummins.
Was I there for this episode?
You asked them. I can't remember. I'll go first. I'll go first. Madre, same thing we used to always hear about Madre growing up, how good he was. I never met Madre until on the podcast when we having him on the podcast to honor and celebrate him. But he's he's one of those athletes who was amazing, man. He was fast. He was one of the best baseball players. He went to Florida, did his thing. Got drafted. He was always one of the top prospects in, growing up in the Major League Baseball. He faced some adversity and stuff, and a lot of people don't understand in baseball you could be the best, but sometimes if they don't see, it's a lot of just put it this way, it's a lot of politics and something. You just got to bite your tongue. You got to keep your mouth closed. You just got to do what you got to do. He was able to win a World Series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I remember watching the whole series. That was an amazing series. He represented the VI well, man. He had opportunity to pinch run to score the game time run and stuff, man. So he was an amazing athlete, man. Midre. So much love to Midre. Big up to Midre. Midre Cummins.
Okay, so I definitely remember this story. My apologies, Midre. Like I said, some of the names, it's hard. The baseball names, it's hard to put the face with the name, but the story does stick out. So now I remember that he was at Florida, and he did he get drafted out of Florida? I think he missed the opportunity to get drafted out of Florida, and did he end up in the minor leagues, and that's where he get drafted from to go to play for the Diamondbacks?
No. He got drafted, and then he just went through the minor league system, and then he got traded, and he got signed with different teams. He played with multiple teams.
Gotcha. But yes, okay. The details is a little leery, but I remember his story, and to the best of my ability, and his story was good. It's always a proud moment when you could win what a major league trophy, Scott.
World Series championship.
World Series championship. That's big. You know what I'm saying? Like, not much of us could say that. You know what I'm saying? On the highest level. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely big. Proud moment for the Virgin Islands. And again, that's one of those things I wish I was following Virgin Island baseball more, because I would have known that back then, and that would have been a real feel good moment. Okay, I got a phone call that I have to take.
Yeah, no worries.
And I gotta get my charger too at the same time, so I could be right back. You could keep going.
All right. So episode 22, we have Andrew Bowhead Fleming, man, and same thing, man. Been through a lot of adversity, man. His episode was very interesting. Everything that he been through, man. Same thing. I never met Bonehead before until the podcast. A lot of the guests. That's where I've met them. And same thing. His how he got to college and what he been through in college and everything, man, really stood out. So for him to get the opportunity for him to tell his story, and talk about everything, growing up and playing basketball. And he didn't really spend that much time playing basketball at St. Croix, so a lot of people didn't really get to know him as well too. But that's why we have the podcast here, and that's why it was important for him to tell his story, so many people knew who he was and get to see a face to the name as well too. Episode 22, we have Lavran Saro. Met Lavran Saro playing baseball. We went to the Disney World Series playing together. RBI baseball at Disney. You always used to hear about Saro, man, one of the top pitchers, left-handed pitchers, man. Talent out of this world, and just to hear his story and him being honest with himself and everything, man. It seems like he know what the mistakes he made, and now he's a coach, and he's doing a lot for the youths as well too, helping the youths them and everything. He come from a talented family as well. His daughter is a great volleyball player. So he's doing a lot of stuff for the youths them, man. He was an amazing basketball player too. I thought he was a very, very good basketball player. Me personally, we had our battles in school as well. So just an all-around great athlete. I heard it. He was good at football. He was an amazing volleyball player. He's just one of the most talented athletes in Virgin Islands history, man. So, hopefully, in the future there is a museum or something where, you know, he could be appreciated and he could go back and just look at his career and his family and his daughter and stuff, man. So much love to Lavron for giving us a chance to come, giving us a chance to interview him, and I'm just glad we was able to honor him. Episode 24, we have Kurt VLA, man. You know, Senator Kurt VLA. He saved a lot of people's lives, you know, as well too. And it was interesting to hear his story about how he got to become the principal of the Sacred Educational Complex, you know, coming from what's the name of the school? I forgot the name of that middle school, that junior high. Elena Christian. Yeah. You know, so VLA, big sports fan, man. I was supported everybody. I was supported. He would always be at the games. You know, students could always, you know, interact with at the time he was principal called VLA, man. You know, he's always been a supported person. He had a tough job. You know, he had to lay the law down on a lot of people. He had to make some tough decisions. But he have done so much for the community. He have been a role model, man. And, you know, I wish nothing but the best for VLA. I appreciate him coming on the show and telling us his story. You know, so much love to VLA, man. You know, he say he helped me out a lot as well too. You know, in school, not expelling me, etc., etc. So much love to VLA.
Yes, sir. Much love to VLA. VLA is. I always look at VLA as our VI Joe Clark. You know what I mean? VLA is the type of principal that he's a student principal. He's a staff principal. Like these are like literally his people. You know what I'm saying? Like his family. You know, so he ain't just looking at you as an employee. He ain't just looking at you as another student. He is looking at you as my employee, my student, as far as like his responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like when we walk on campus, we're his responsibility, and he is going to do whatever he can do or in his ability or in his job requirements, or in his job realm, you know, where he's not, you know, going out of pocket or whatever to help you succeed. You know what I'm saying? He'll talk to you. You couldn't skip in complex. If you don't want to go class, go home. You know what I mean? And I ain't saying that that's what he's saying. That's the only way you're going to skip. You know what I'm saying? Because he come in, he walk in the floor the most that he can if he ain't tied up in the office or tied up in a class. He's the type of principal that would do sit-ins in class to see how everybody doing, check the temperature of the class. You know what I'm saying? He knew if they had 1,000 students in school, they really know everybody. You know how hard that is, the man. You know, to have, even if it's just a speck of a relationship with somebody, to have a relationship with every one of your students. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the biggest supporter of every program in school. Like he didn't just, man, I love basketball. I like golf. Or I like softball. No, I love basketball. I love golf. But he loved his students, like his student sport. Ain't to say that he will go out and watch golf on his own, but as long as his students playing golf, I love golf. You know what I mean? And that's just the type of person VLA is. He's real. He also real. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as he could sit you down and praise you, just as much he could say, Pang, you're effing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, really, you're effing up. And you need to take this serious. You got opportunity. You know, I really have gotten real with me. You know, call me into your office and gotten real with me. You know what I'm saying? And just let me know. And, you know, due to I got short-term memory, and by the time I walk out the door, I don't forget everything they just say. You know what I mean? But still, those moments were there. and he don't give up on you. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, he don't give up on you. And just like he see you as a person. He see you as a person. He see your struggles. He know the type. He been young too, and he know the type of adversity that people will go through as kids, and he to relate. So he definitely will hold a place, dear to me as far as coming up. Like when you're young, you don't keep grudge against your principal, your coach, your teachers, and so. But as I became an adult, I started to realize what people was trying to do for me when I was younger. So I definitely appreciate everything Vela did for me.
Episode 25, we had Dennis Brow.
Man, Dennis Dennis Bro interview was good to me, Mr. because it seemed like he was the best at everything. You know what I mean? Like he was just a natural born athlete and he was the best at every sport. You know what I'm saying? Or everything. And he just seems like he did it all. And if you ever hear people talk about Dennis Brown, he was a man amongst child, and everybody was talk about how strong he was, and for his size and strength, he was skillful. You know what I'm saying? And so his story was good. Just listening to the type of things that he did, the way how you hear he talk about what he did was, man. Like you see this man walking down on the side of the street, it just seemed like you might want to cross the street and walk on the other side because you didn't want to run into this man. That's how he told his story to me, and that's like how how competitive and like you don't want to face Dennis Bro. Like, so his story was good. He didn't. I can't say it didn't sound like he went through a lot of adversity, but I'm be honest, I didn't hear much adversity in his story. It seems like he had a good ride coming up in the ranks. You know what I mean? And not because things were coming easy because he was talented. It didn't stop him from working hard because he still used to go and run the beach. He still used to face the fiercest competitors and took the challenge and bust through those competitors and show them that he's the man. You know what I mean? So his story was good. I liked his story.
But Dennis Brow's story was very, very interesting because I had known him for a baseball player. I didn't realize he was such a good basketball player, and then he kind of touched on his dunk outs with Haywood and Zorro. He touched on his basketball career. I was mostly interested in that. I kind of know a lot about his baseball career. He with his basketball, he was one of the top players. You kind of touched on that already. Baseball, he kind of, he have the dynasty, the Vikings dynasty, man. So he has done so much. He's been a tremendous athlete, man. He was like, all you hear the stories of him is like he was built like LeBron James or something.
Right.
Coming up, man. But it was just good to hear his story, coming out of his mouth, man. Being the top baseball and basketball player on the territory, man. That's amazing, And he went on to do some stuff with baseball as well, So great episode with Dennis Brow.
And I like that he's still giving back, to the community. He's still home and got his feet on the ground and doing things out there.
Yeah, that's true. So we move on. We might not get you all the names them today, by the way, people. We probably might stop at 30. Because we have done a total of 53 episodes. Makil Rogers being the last episode we had. We had in episode 26. We have Rico Canario.
Selective memory kicking in, Dwayne, because the name there, but I tried to put a face with Rico. So I'll let you go first, but you're gonna trigger some stuff for me.
So Rico Canario, we always post it.
Never mind. I remember now. He is the memorabilia person. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I love what he does. Rico has a job that ain't too much people gonna take on. And Rico is a special person because who as a kid doing the type of things he was doing at that time? like as a kid, most people want to be in the sport, but he wanted to cover the sport. He wanted to cover the players. He wanted to relish the moments in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a vision of knowing this thing is going to mean a lot 10, 20 years from now. Let me savor this memorabilia. Let me savor this card. Let me savor this story, this moment. Let me write it down. And let me cut out this newspaper clipping. Like, how much kids doing that? From then to even now, how many kids doing that?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? And the type of stuff that this man was bringing out, like, I was like who is doing that at this time? And then he been around some special people. This man been around Julian Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I just, up to this day, I'd have got into YouTube and Julian Jackson boxing highlights, because the way how this man was knocking out people, and too much fighters were doing it like that. And to know this man, his father used to help. Like I don't remember if he fully trained Julian Jackson or he used to coach you at some point, or just coach from on the sidelines or something like that, or from the outside. But he used to be around them. That's I remember that. And so his episode was good, and it was different from any other episode that we did. So his episode probably outside of Senator Ville and Pastor Barnes, but Pastor Barnes had a sports career too, so she talked about her sports. But outside of Senator Ville, and his was the most different from everybody else.
Rico was very, very, very very knowledgeable. A lot. It was like a history lesson. You know, his dad, he was like the commissioner in with the boxing and the Olympics and stuff like that. That his dad, you know, traveled with all the Olympic teams, and he been to all the different countries that hosted the Olympics, and he had all the medals and all that stuff. You know, Rico, he's a Virgin Island historian and also a sports historian. You know, he have you know, you touched on the collectibles, and he have so many different cards and bobbleheads and all kind of different stuff. You know, he touched on the Negro Leagues. He had so many information that we didn't even know about. You know, his episode, I think that people could go back and really learn a lot from his episode, as far as, you know, with sports, because he touched on a lot of different sports and a lot of different individuals that represented the Virgin Islands that people didn't know about. Even the only Negro League baseball player from the Virgin Islands, he kind of talked about, and he had a lot of prized possessions as well too. You know, so his episode was a lot of information. So if anybody watching, you know, you can always go back and check out his episode, man. Is a lot. His also, he has a website. You know, he has a website. I'm gonna post it here on the ticker so you guys could see it. You know, he has a website. You could go visit his Facebook page as well too. You know, he has several books and everything, man. So you guys definitely go out and support Rico. He has a lot of history on the Virgin Islands. If they're going to do a museum, that is somebody that you guys want to definitely get in contact with, because he has a lot of memorabilia and a lot of different stuff, man. A lot of cards and stuff. So big up to Rico. Episode 27, we have Pastor Mona Barnes.
My first meeting, unfortunately, my first meeting of Pastor Mona Barnes was actually at a funeral for Frenchie mother. May she rest in peace. And she immediately came off as a supportive person. Like I got up on stage because I was doing I wasn't doing a eulogy, but I was talking. I was so nervous, and then I was nervous with all these emotions at the time. And she rested her hand on my back, and then she said, "Wait, you is the Stephen Hodge that real good in basketball?" And I say, yeah. And she's like, "Man, I was a big fan. but don't worry, man, you're gonna be good. Just take your time and just read from the book. And immediately I just started to feel comfortable, you know what I mean? And but that was my first meeting of her. And her interview was good because she's another one that, like, hard work, the payoff, because it molds you into like a person that you just don't see failure. You know what I mean? You don't see failure. You see things that people don't see. You do things that people don't do. You do what people say think it's hard. You do it and make it look easy, but you know it's not easy, but you make it look easy. And like, her interview was good because you could tell she came up in the ranks by just working hard. And she came up, if my memory serves me correct, I think she came up in the church as well. Is it her mother or her father was a minister? Do you remember?
Can't remember.
Okay, but I want to say it's her mother. But when you follow in one of your parents' footsteps, it gotta be one of the proudest moments in a parent's life. Where I don't know at what point, I don't remember at what point that she started to take on her ministry, but the point is that she did. She at some point in her life she decided that this is what I'm gonna do. After trying her hand at a few businesses that some of them she says still running up to this day. Her story was just good, man, and just a success story. You know, you can't do nothing but tip your hat after her and be proud, because she was very disciplined along her journey, and she was focused at the same time to know that I am going to achieve everything that I want to do in life.
Mona episode was really, really it was really touching, you know. My first time really meeting Mona was when she did Genix episode, and then she came back and did her episode, you know. She touched on when she traveled with the Saba team to Corning, New York, you know, back-to-back years. You know, one year they had one coach, next year they had Genix, and they won everything. You know, I mean, that's a major accomplishment, just to be there with so many different teams and come out on top. You know, she talked about, you know, when Genix used to come and pick her up and practice her every single day. That's something you touch on, Pan, with her hard work and dedication. She was one of the top Saba players, you know, and she was also the point guard as well too for Friday. Yeah, you know, so, you know, she's doing a lot with the church, you know, Pastor Barnes. She's doing a lot, helping the community out. I think she has like some type of foundation or something. I want to say I can't get the words exactly, but she's doing a lot, you know. She did a good job for Genix funeral as well too. You know, I was able to meet her when I came down, and you know, that's somebody I occasionally always, you know, shoot a text just to check up on her to make sure everything is doing good, man. So I appreciate Mona Barnes coming on the podcast and sharing her story, and also filling in for Genix as well too. She did a great job. Much love to Mona Barnes. You know, she does her stuff on Facebook every Sunday 10 a.m. as well too. You know, so big up to Mona Barnes. Very, very, very insightful episode.
Yes, sir.
Episode 28, we have Guinevere Abramson.
And don't tell me, that's oh my God. We just talked about her. Her mother, Lynn mother, yes. You know, Lynn mother's story was good. It was different because Lynn mother's story is, Lynn mother was a superstar coming up in the rankings in the Virgin Islands. But immediately when it was time for her to be a mother, it seems like that's when she was the real superstar, like raising her kids, you know what I'm saying? Taking care of her kids. Like she she dealt with the sports from afar with her kids, but it just, you could tell that they was the most important thing for her. I liked how she dealt with her struggles after, being a superstar in the softball world coming up in the Virgin Islands. She just immediately went into a different role, and she just gave baseball up. You know what I mean? Like some people, they just, not saying that was her purpose, but her priorities was in the right place, if that makes sense. And should, sometimes when you're a superstar growing up, the ball don't always bounce your way. You know what I mean? And for sports, you don't always knock a home run in in the bigger scheme of things. And but it never take away from your legend. You know what I'm saying? Because she's still a legend, and still, I'm pretty sure people still talking her, telling stories about her up to this day, sitting playing dominoes or at a baseball game, or if they see Lynn walk by or one of her kids walk by, it reminds them of Guinevere and something that she did when they were younger. You know what I mean? And like, she was well soft spoken. Like, she had like one of the most innocent voice I've ever heard. Like, just talking and telling her story. Taking her time and doing her best to remember some of the things that she did. And you could tell when somebody ain't too proud, that like when I say proud of themselves, they don't see themselves as a superstar. They let other people say that about them. She's a proud person, and she, like, her stardom coming up in softball wasn't bigger than the person that she is, basically. And that's I loved her story. I love sitting there listening to her. Like, she really felt like my mother on the other side of the screen. You know what I'm saying? And just it was just a warm felt story. Just listening to her.
Yeah, Guinevere's story was real. It was really unique. She talked about first, how she first started getting into softball, and how the first year with the team, and the coach, and everything, man. And then the next year there was one of the best teams. You could tell you could tell they had it hard, playing softball, growing up, and everything, man. So I just can't imagine putting myself in their shoe back in those times, all the challenges they had to face just to create a team. And
That's what I'm
being
about to say. I want to say that the movie is called The Rejects or something like that. A bunch of kids that they were the players that nobody wanted. And then a coach came around that say, okay, well, no, I want to play with them kids. Like, they deserve an opportunity to, and took all the players that nobody wanted and make a team and mold them into to be the best team in the tournament, in the league, or wherever. And these are the same players that nobody wanted. And that's how I took her stories. Like the coach came in, and he took a bunch of players that didn't make other teams in their neighborhood. He put them together, and like you said, the following year they became the best team in the league.
Yeah, it's true. They became the best team. So it was she worked hard, man, and she been through a lot, and she was one of the top, women's softball player, pitcher. So much love to Guinevere Abramson. I appreciate her coming on and blessing us with her presence and her story. On episode 29, we had Real Saki. I'll go first. So Real, baseball player out to the Virgin Islands. He was an amazing baseball player when I was growing up. He very good friends with G-Nix. He was kind of a mentor to us as well too. When G-Nix created that basics team, he was one of the players them that G-Nix looked to mentor us and guide us as well. And as well as playing with the complex softball team, man. His story was very interesting because he was a very talented baseball player, but you know, Real, you know, made some mistakes here and there and stuff, and he was honest with himself, you know, and you know, he didn't look back on it and dwell on it. He just learned from his mistakes, and now he's one of the best coaches in the Virgin Islands. He's been a important part of the coaching staff in St. Croix, helping kids them with baseball and stuff. He's one of the coaches that it doesn't matter what team you play for, Pan, you touch on it all, yeah. He's willing to help any kid. They could come and work out with him and train with him, even though he gonna be playing against them and stuff. So, you know, real learn a lot, and he's just been a great mentor to all the kids them in the VI, man, and doing his thing.
So Real was the one. He was the one that wearing the Virgin Islands national team shirt, the blue national team shirt.
I can't remember what they're wearing and stuff, to be honest with
those
you.
Those are the type of things that will stick out to me. So, but
Yeah.
if I remember, if my memory serves me correct, he coached a lot with the baseball national team, right? Or a lot of the traveling team. He coached with a lot of the traveling team.
I don't think so. I don't think it was Real.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't think it's Real.
I'm gonna leave this one up to you because okay. I can't I don't remember that interview. I'm not gonna sell him shot and put somebody else's story with his. So I'll let you talk that one there.
So now you know, there's gonna be the final the pause it today. We're gonna talk about episode 30, and then I guess next week we just do 31 to 53. You know, episode 30 was Hayden Wills. You wasn't on that one. Not you and Tegan wasn't on. His episode was amazing. You know, soccer player. You know, first professional soccer player out of the Virgin Islands. You know, his story was real amazing. All the different countries he traveled to. You know, the different experiences he had, the crowds that he played in front of. You know, he has a lot of great ideas and goals for the soccer in the Virgin Islands. You know, so he talked about he wants to really get back and do some groundwork on St. Croix and really help the Virgin Islands in soccer. You know, so his episode was real amazing. I learned a lot about soccer. He had a story where, man, who was the kids them from? Man, I forgot where the kids them was from, but it was some kids from, was it Haiti? I think it was Haiti. And they traveled to I think it was Miami or somewhere, and the coach then was so upset with them that he told them, I'm gonna send you guys back. And the Haitian players them just left the team. And didn't go back. They didn't travel with the team anymore. He never saw them again or anything, man. That kind of stood out. You know, so it was amazing, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, soccer is another sport that you don't appreciate. But you have to, man. Like they don't never stop running in soccer. So you got to understand that these players are conditioned, and it gotta be hard to play soccer. Hard. One of Tegan's first sport actually, because they ain't got no basketball in Antigua. That's a shot at you, Antigua. My bad. Just being funny. So soccer was Tegan first sport.
Wait, let me finish up and Hayden first, and then you could kind of touch on
okay,
that.
go ahead. Do your thing.
You know, so yeah, like Dwayne said, you know, two guys from Haiti, you know, catch a taxi with a Haitian man, you know, but he grew up with he knew about Tegan when he was young because, you know, Tegan father, uncle, and then played soccer, same as Neg uncle, which is Neg father, which is Tegan uncle. They all played soccer over by that field over by across from Machuchal. You know, so he knew a lot of history and Tegan family, especially his father and stuff. You know, so he's a soccer head. You know, I'd love to have him back on the show, man, because he like I say, he has a lot of knowledge on soccer. You know, he wants to do a lot with the Virgin Islands as well. You know, so big up to Hayden. I appreciate him coming on the show and blessing the viewers and everybody about soccer and everything, man. So
well, that's a good note to finish on, especially it's outside of all the sports that we talked about, because so far we mainly talk about baseball and basketball. So that's a good sport to end the show on today. Some of these episodes, especially the ones that I can't remember too good, especially the baseball ones, I definitely need to go back and watch again. Most of the episodes that I miss, I definitely watched on my own. But it's different when you could be on the phone with them or on the line with them. It's different. You remember certain things about the interview versus you watching it on your own. You don't appreciate it when you're watching it on your own. You it's like you're watching it just to watch it. But when you hear and you talking to them and you meet the person and it's just a different feel for it. So anybody that watching that immediately I didn't remember your name, it's only because I'm still getting used to you guys and getting used to the baseball stories, and I still learning baseball. For the most part, I remember all of the basketball players because most of them is my friends growing up. Like so far, we talk about Andy. I knew Andy personally, so Coffee. We talked about Tyrone. I know Tyrone personally. Zorro, Mac. You know, all the basketball, Sonny, all the basketball people that I knew them personally. So it was easy for me to remember them and remember their story and things about them but still learning the baseball players.
yeah, man. Well, I've been a basketball, baseball guy, so it was kind of easy for me, you know. So just real shout out Stephen Hodge, Glenn Coggins, Tyrone Lake, Terry Byron, Cobalt Victor, Basic Gonzalez, Kizora Swanson, Calvin Pickering, Dean Haywood, Rashawn Smith, Roberto Smalls, Calvin White, Stephanie Williams, O'Neal Charles, rest in peace, Eugene Genix Thomas, Coach Malaka, Richard Clendon, Anderson Andy Hobart, George G.B. Bailey, Lynn Libot, Major Cummins, Andrew Bonehead Fleming, Lavon Saro, Court VLA, Dennis Brow, Ricky Canario, Mona Barnes, Guinevere Abramson, Real Saki, and Hayden Wills. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. Definitely appreciate you guys. The next coming up next week, we're gonna touch on Akeem Mountain, Jerome Gums, Dwayne Juice Madero, Bogus, Keith Libot, Christian Kelly, Dana Bow, Kalex Crab, Jareem Dowling, Carlos Hawkins, Kevin, Tegan Shepard, Jason Page, touch on the Jersey retirement, Karen Carty, Andre Titus, Rudolph Simmons, Kevin Bola King, Mumba Rivera, Derek Miller, Jomo Dupuel, Joel Pica Rodriguez, RT, Kanai Jr., and Maki Rajas. So that's the next. Actually, Maki was episode 52, not 53. Make a mistake. Yeah.
Man, it seemed like this year went by so fast, Mumba. I can't believe that we did so much interviews so far, Mr.
Yeah, we did a lot. We haven't really done much in December, so we did a lot, leading up to November.
Right. I told you, I feel like I've been on vacation. Like when you said we got such and such this Sunday, I'm like, wow, why you feel like I've been on the podcast in months? That's just how it felt to me, Mr. But
and you're flying.
Even though that you said we weren't doing an interview today, I'm glad you still proceed with just doing something, because like I definitely miss you guys, and you just had some moments, some things that I had to take care of for the last couple episodes, and just glad to be back, chatting it up and we want to give more flowers, man. I just keep the interviewees coming, like keep dropping the names,
we're gonna get everybody involved, you know. We're gonna make sure everybody get their dues, you know what I'm saying? And try to get more people to come on and join us, man. You know what I mean? Like spread the word. You know, I know people will be busy on Sunday, or they just maybe just want to relax. You know, even if they could just put it on their phone and just, you know, just listen for a little bit. You know, they ain't got to stay on the whole time, but just get them to subscribe to the YouTube page. You know what I mean? The more people logging in, the more people that we could reach out to. You know, we know we're doing good when we gain the people them that didn't watch basketball but know Zorro, didn't watch baseball but they know Rasan, you know, just didn't know soccer but they didn't watch soccer but they know what a guy named Mumba
Hayden
Hayden,
was
you know what I'm saying? And like just listening to their stories and just, man, that's interesting, you know what I mean? Like, so just, you know, try, even if you get some of your, if you live in the States, get some of your stateside friends to log in and just learn about our culture, you know what I mean? The more people we could get, you know what I'm saying? The better, you know, just give everybody a chance to just pause for a second and just sit down and hear an interesting story, because so far all of our stories have been interesting. Everybody may have went through some of the same adversities, but none of the stories are the same. You know what I mean? Everybody got different story, took a different path, and have a different outcome, you know? So, you know, I love this, honestly. If I could do this for a living, I could be the happiest man in the world. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I do. You know, I would be the happiest man in the world. So love coming out here and chatting with you guys. I think this was good, Mumba, reflecting.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was, I was planning on doing it. I just, happy to just do it now, just because we had a cancellation and we wasn't on last week because of another cancellation. You know, everything you said, Pang, is true, man. You know, more people could watch it and stuff like that, but it's up to the viewers. You know what I'm saying? If they want to come and watch it, they could come and watch it. This is something that's coming from the heart, from all of us. You know, this is we trying to restore history for the future. You know what I'm saying? You can't move forward as a nation. You can't move forward as a community. You can't move forward as Black people if you don't really know your history and stuff like that. So our future generation, if they don't know history, they can't grow and move as people and stuff like that. So it's important that what we're doing is recorded and documented and stuff, man. So I just appreciate all the viewers and that come on, whoever come on. I appreciate every single one of them. I know Dwayne is always on all the time, man. So much love to Dwayne, Carry on, Arika, Mountain is always on, and everybody, man. People will be coming in. Langolo is always on. So much love, Renice. Big out to Renice. Big out to everybody who'll be tuning in, man. You know what I'm saying? Jomo. Big up to Jomo. He's always tuning in. Everybody else. Anybody who I forget, I apologize. Jasan Page as well, too. People and Sandra as well, Sandra Haywood. All the people them on Al Baptiste. I always be on YouTube, but all the names them, everybody who'll be tuning in, man. All the week, every week. I appreciate you guys supporting as well, too. You know what I'm saying? It means a lot.
Right.
Because go ahead.
What you have planned Wednesday? If we have any, if we're doing a show Wednesday, you have anything planned?
I don't have anything planned Wednesday because Wednesday is the 23rd, so I didn't have anything planned. If you have something planned.
Well, I want to just throw an idea. One of the things I used to like growing up is like around this time of year is when you turn on the TV and you see like all the people like in the holiday spirit, you know what I'm saying? That's like sharing stories about, their family or whatever the case may be. Maybe we could do something special. Like me and Mumba always want to get you guys involved and especially get you guys on the camera. You know what I'm saying? If we could do a thing where I know a lot of you probably to do this for our job where I wear like ain't gotta be an ugly sweater, but you know, a Christmas something, some type of sweater, some type of t-shirt, something to do with Christmas or something. And if we could get 5 minutes of our time or 10 minutes of our time to come on and just maybe you could tell us why you like about the show. You know, maybe you could tell us your plans for Christmas or your plans for the holidays, or you know, like stuff like that. If you on vacation, you know, like I think that would be good. You know, I think if some of your names that pop up without a picture, you know what I'm saying? I think if some of the other people who maybe don't know you, because we have people watching from St. Thomas, we have people watching from up here, you know, and we have people that went central, that didn't go complex, and so they might not know, but just like, you know, I could come and just kick it with us a little bit, because we love that. We love when you interacting and everything. So why not interact with us behind the camera? You know, in front of the camera, I should say. And we all dress for the occasion. Mumbai, you put on like a, you know, like a short, you know, a sweater if you get one, you know, and we just, you know, maybe you could bring your son, your daughter on to say good night, you know.
Ain't happening.
That's not, you wouldn't do it, or they wouldn't do it.
I'm bringing my daughter on for sure. My son, probably not now. Maybe later on, but not now. My kids, no. No.
Well, just
Listen,
like,
I'm gonna say this, right? I'm very private with my kids, them and stuff like that. If I put my kids them on and somebody says some smart thing about my kid, it's gonna be
man,
problems.
nobody ain't gonna
Fine,
do that.
I'm dead serious. So that's not happening.
Right, I figured that.
Hey, no, but I agree with your idea. I love the idea, but I'm just telling you, you know, some people got smart mouth and stuff like that, and I ain't playing. So I'm trying to be a good person. I'm still trying to change my life around as we
Hey,
speak.
no, man, you change. But I think everybody will get touchy about their kid. But I don't think anybody would say anything smart or outlandish or anything, because you don't.
Man, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
ain't gonna
we
bring
could,
them on.
see,
Put it that way.
Mountain, we could do an ugly sweater Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like,
It's a good idea. I mean, I'll contact all the viewers them if they want to come on. If they want to come on, whatever, chop it up. More than that's no problem with me. Like I said, this podcast is not just mine; it's for everybody. If anybody
Right.
want to do something, they could do it. Just say, "Hey, Mumba, can I use the podcast and do something?" They could do it. I don't have to be on with them, but they could do it. Like, this is not for me. This is for the VI. You know, like I've said it a million times. I'm just like me, straight, nothing but love coming from my direction,
Right,
man.
right.
Nothing but love, man. You don't know.
and that's good, man.
Trust me.
Mumba. That's people need to know that about you. You know what I mean? And I don't make fun of you as a bad man, you know. And trust me, people, I just making fun. I don't see Mumba like that at all. You know what I'm saying? So, people should know what type of person you are, and like you said, you're just the vessel. You know, you want everybody to get a shine. You know what I mean? And you always been that way, regardless of the fun I make at you of being a bad man.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to think Mumbai is a bad man. I strictly to be making fun. You know what I mean? And that's why they like hanging around me, because you know I that's me all the time. You know what I mean? Like, life. I don't take life serious, like too serious. I take it serious when I need to be, but I don't take it too serious, man. You know what I mean? We all got one life to live, and we just gotta live it, man. Live it the best way we can. We know how, and just have fun while doing it, man. That's just how I see it. You know? Yeah, Mumbai. That's what Mumbai's Thug Life for life. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna hit up the viewers them. I'm gonna reach out to people them who want to come on. If they want to come on, I'm down to come on. I have no problem with it. Definitely reach out.
Give us 5 minutes of your time, man. Just come and chop it up, you know. But you gotta wear a sweater, or a shirt. That's the one stipulation. You have to be Christmassy. So we know you're gonna do it anyways. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Christmas Day, whether you know. So why not do it with us? You know what I mean? So, I would love to hear like some people come on and just share a Mumba moment, share a Pang moment, you know, share a Tiga moment, you know, something that they experience coming on, or you know, maybe give them an opportunity to say something funny about us, or you know, a funny story or a good story. You know what I mean? Like, just because I know a lot of people that watch the show, we have had some type of moment with them at some point, you know, like you said, Dwayne is always on. Like I remember Dwayne like so good in school. Like I could see Dwayne walking around in school right now. You know what I mean? I may have not known Dwayne personally, but I know Dwayne was a fan. You know, I don't think Dwayne ever missed just like how he never missed a show. I don't think Dwayne ever missed like a complex tournament, like a central tournament. You know what I mean? So like me knowing Dwayne from just seeing here around, I would like to get some other people that post comments and so on, get him on and just share a story. And I'll be like, oh, I remember that. I remember that day. You know what I mean? Like, or we just talk about the year that we had, you know what I mean? Like dealing with this Corona stuff and all the Black Lives Matters and, you know, anything. We could just make, you know, just get some heartfelt stories. Maybe people could share some of the experiences they went through this year and just sum up the year for them and what they're looking for next year, like going into next year, you know what I mean? So just, you know, just the spirit, man. One of my best time of the year, to be honest with you. So if I hear me sounding mushy and like, this is the best time of the year for me, honestly.
Good idea, man. I'm gonna reach out to the viewers. I'm gonna hit them up as soon as we get off. Well, not now because I got some stuff to do. Well, I'm gonna do it today and tomorrow and stuff. And if we get five people, if I get 5 people, we're gonna do the show. You know what I'm saying? And then we broadcast the link, and anybody tuning in, they come on and welcome to come on and whatever they want to talk about. They could talk about, you know, you throw out a lot of ideas. They could talk about who was their favorite episode so far, which one was the most touching. Because as we do it next week, we have a lot of episodes that was real touching and real heartfelt and very powerful. So, you know, they could kind of give their opinions and all kind of different stuff. So, you know, as with the whole, you know, Christmas ugly sweater day. So, you know, so I'm definitely gonna reach out. We could make that happen, Pan. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? So, or if not, if you want to do an episode and we could talk about, if something you want to talk about that come along, we could still do it. That's no problem. You know, I know the NBA coming up and all that different stuff, etc. So we could kind of, you know, something for fun or whatever, etc.
Right before we jump off, I know we've been on over 3 hours. Right before you jump off, How NBA looking at like to you so far? Like the teams that you watch play or you watch highlights of so far, like how you think this year gonna be?
I think it's gonna be a good year. I think it's gonna be very, very competitiveness. It's gonna be very competitive. The only thing I'm worried about, I think Dwayne asked a question earlier. I think these fucking dudes doing fireworks and stuff like that, man. They be wilding. For today's what? December what? What today's? December
Today's the
20th.
Today's the 20th?
Yeah, and they're doing fireworks. Wild. The only thing I worry about is that the time they're starting the season, and maybe a lot of people might rest a lot just because of the whole different stuff, and then, you know, this whole COVID stuff. So I don't know how it's gonna be, but I think you have some good teams. I think it's gonna be very competitive when everybody play. You know, so I think I'm just waiting for the playoffs.
Right.
I think Brooklyn Nets is gonna be. We talked about it. Brooklyn Nets is gonna be a problem. You know, and the West gonna be tough. There's a lot of good teams in the West. You know, so
everybody predicted Mavericks gonna be the team coming out the West. Honestly,
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that one either. But I just you hit it on the head. Competitive. I think the year gonna be competitive. I don't think it's too short, Mountain. I think it's just right. Sometimes the season could seem too long because think about it, October to July. Sometimes the season could be
playing shot stop.
Oh, shot stop. Okay, I thought he was saying the league is too short. Oh, yeah, Mumba. When we get out Mountain, when we get out celebrity game going, I just batting. Me playing no defense. I just batting. We're gonna do it like football. We're gonna get a defensive team, but we're gonna have offense team, and I do offense. But yeah, man, I love how Brooklyn, how them man play against Boston. Them man really root up Boston, even though Boston came back at the end. But I think they had let their foot off the gas a little bit, Brooklyn. But I just love how that team run it, and I think they're gonna be a problem. I honestly think they're gonna be a problem.
I think so too.
But the West, man, it just seemed like everybody in the West get better. Everybody in the West get better.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I like how Phoenix the play. I like how, of course, Utah, Denver, the Blazers, Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers. I just think everybody got better. I like the addition of Serge Ibaka and the Clippers. I think Serge is a better player than Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl just brought the hustle and the dog, but I think he used to do a lot of bonehead stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think Serge to do that. And then Serge bringing a jump shot with his game. You know what I mean? And he's a defender. Serge to protect the rim. So I think I wouldn't even be surprised if Serge start over Zubac.
Yeah, that will happen.
Yeah, Zubac is a good player, a young player, but if you ever notice, he always start the game, but he still don't play a lot of minutes because he got times that he don't come back in.
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, he it's tough for him. I think honestly, man, for now I'll probably go with the Lakers. Honestly, I just feel like Anthony Davis or LeBron James on the same team is just. It's just problems, man. They complement each other just way too much, brother. It's just, I say I got Lakers, Lakers, Denver, Clippers, one of those.
Spurs is my team, and that's why rooting for still. Oh my God, but Spurs just got too much nice people, man. Just they're too nice for the league, man. Coach Pop got to start rugging it up, man. Rough, like he got to start getting some players with tattoos and stuff, and then man, he's just so clean. The Spurs are just so clean, man, and they're too nice for the league, man. And then if you ever notice, Spurs just seems like they're always in the game until the end. You know what I mean? And then the other team they just take off, leave them, and I'd be like, man, come on, man. Like I just love how they play. I love how they play, but I just think they're too nice.
They got a lot. They need a lot, man. They need a lot. So, viewers, I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. Dwayne, Mountain, Carrion. Appreciate all you guys. I think that's the names I'm seeing now. So, but everybody else, I know a lot of people pop in and out and stuff. I appreciate everybody that pop in and out as well too. If I forgot anybody name, I apologize and everything. So. But I appreciate you guys supporting us as always. Always supporting us. I appreciate you guys. You guys don't understand. And like I said, anybody that supports us, if you guys willing to use this platform to do anything, you guys more than welcome to do it. And if you guys want to do something for yourself, that's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? We always are mostly on Sundays, sometimes Sundays. And then once in a blue moon, we are on a different day to accommodate the person we interviewing, honoring and celebrating. So, if you guys want to do it, if you guys want to use this and send it to your own Facebook or a different platform, you guys more than welcome to use it, man. Just letting you guys know that once again.
Oh, and you gotta start sending us some of your birthdays so we could give our some shout outs for your birthday and things like that. Something we could start doing. I want to give a shout out to my niece. My niece made 27 this week. So I want to say shout out to my niece, Latoya. Yeah, so happy birthday, Latoya. That's my sister. That's Gabriel who'll be on with us. That's her oldest daughter.
Okay. Yeah, big up. Yeah, big up to your sister Gabrielle too. She always, in as well. So any names that we forget, we apologize once again. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get the names. I'm actually gonna call out the viewers' names as well next Sunday. So.
Well, Mumba, I love it. Love the show today. I thought this was a good idea. When you text me and let me know that the guy wasn't coming on, but you said we're gonna still have a show to talk about the other shows. I said, well, I gonna be there. I just only one question I asked was, were we still doing that 3? Because I felt like I've been away for too long and I needed to be blessed by the people and get back into the groove. So no more vacation.
No more vacation. Dwayne, we gonna walk on the shots. I don't tell you already, Dwayne. Yes, I saw. Everybody, appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Much love to everybody. Everybody be safe. So hopefully we could have a show on Wednesday. So everybody
It's
be
up.
blessed.
Yeah, it's up to Ayo. Mama gonna reach out. It's up to Ayo. Harry, give thanks to everybody. Good night.
Good night. Good night.